Oh,
I made
notes.
some notes.
Okay, so I've had him on before. Everybody listening, episode 323. Ernesto Ausejo, who actually Ernie was guest number 5, and
It was. Look at that.
yeah. Ernie was guest number 5, and as we've had him before, Ernie actually came on several times earlier this year, back before primaries. He came on when Biden got the nomination, and he came on, and I said, Ernie, give me your best speech. And as anyone that listens to this podcast remotely knows, I am right-leaning. I liked Trump. But one thing I would always say is I don't get why everyone on the left wants Trump to fail. Trump is the pilot of the plane that is this country. Why do you want the pilot to fail? Whether you're on the left wing or on the right wing, it doesn't matter. And as I said I would, if he lost, I'd have to eat a bag of humble dicks. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to I guess, stand up for what I said. And so Ernie's going to come on. And as he said to me, we were texting last night, he said, you know what? He goes, at the very least, and it wasn't even profound, but it came across as profound to me. He said, we have to at least try to talk to one another. And I just thought, at the very least, we have to try. Like, so Ernie, take it away. Take it away.
You know what's
Ernie.
funny? After I said that to you, I'm reading the what's the name of the book? The new Obama book that came out. I forgot what it's called.
Sure.
Jesus, whatever. I'm reading the book. It's a 750-page book. It's a long-ass book, but it really details, and it brings into perspective. And I was texting Cal last night, actually, about this and how incredible it is when you really read these biographies. I've read Bush's as well, right? I mean, yeah, I'm a Democrat, but I think being the president of the United States is such an interesting and amazing job. And I don't care, who you are.
Yeah.
If you've had it and you've written about it, I want to read about it because I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
So, and what's funny? After I said that to you, he ends his paragraph on, it was on the wars, and it was on how his own generals had undermined him during his first, when they had asked him for a surge of troops, when he ran as the anti-war president, right? Like, get us away from Afghanistan. And at the end of it, it was something that I found amazing. He said, I forgot if it was a quote, I forgot right now at the moment, but it said, it may not be enough, but we have to try. Yeah. It's just funny that, and I said that, and it's funny that you kind of started with that, because I took my pen and I circled it, or underlined it, and I was like, yes, this is so important, right?
You have to try.
When people say unity, like, what unity? Look how divided we are. 20% of the country believes the election was stolen. But Jesus, dude, if you don't try, it ain't gonna get any better. Exactly.
It's you're doing CPR on someone who's bleeding out. You know what? They might be fucked. But dude, give a couple pumps.
And obviously the difference here is, it's not so morbid, but but the reality is the leader of the country and the tone he sets for the country moving forward is a big deal. I mean, how many people said to us, oh, it doesn't matter what Trump says. Oh, he's just talking. It's just what he does. It's what he said. And I always said, and I've said it since day one, what the president says, when he says it, how he says it, who he says it to, it matters so much because it sends a message to the country.
Yes.
To, if anything, to those who are fanatical about this person, because it happens with every president. Every president has a sect of folks who just love the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. I got a Barack Obama poster in my kitchen, right? So I love Barack Obama. I think he was a great president.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, I'll never fight for his ass.
Keep going. I'll turn off the fan.
I'll never storm the Capitol for his ass.
Yeah.
I'll never kill other Americans for his ass.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight for anyone, dude. Yeah. I just don't. Because I'm an American. I'm not a Democrat before an American. I'm an American. So I think that's a big deal. And we've got to try. And so when you hear the president now, President Biden, say, we've got to try, we've got to come together, that, we have to try, talk to each other. Go talk to your neighbor. It's okay, right, to not agree. But we're all on the same damn team. And so that is, to me, so refreshing. So refreshing. Because I think the last 4 years, and President Trump did some good things. I told you, I credit him for the economy. Of course, he ran the country for years. He had great economic numbers. Those are facts. You can't deny those. He deserves credit on that. He deserves credit on trying something different with North Korea.
Sure.
He deserves credit for standing up to Iran and bombing. So, I mean, he deserves credit on some things,
sure.
Right? But I think overall he was an abysmal failure at trying to bring our country together, because it was always a victimhood mentality that he had, the way I always saw it. Oh, it's being done to me. Oh, they hate me. Oh, you're the most powerful man in the world, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're supposed to know how to make deals. Grow a pair of balls, quit bitching, and get it done. You're the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I think before I get into the Biden, I hate to look back, but I think it's important because I want to be unequivocal about this. I'll say it to you. I'll say it to anyone, because we have to stand on the side of the truth. Right? I mean, some things are just true. Right? I've got brown eyes. I'm 5'5". Those are, I mean, I could think otherwise, but we'll never make it not so.
Yeah.
It's the way it's just reality.
Yeah.
The sky's blue. It is reality that in 2020, there was no massive voter fraud. I'm sorry, my friends, but to anyone watching this, step out of your bubble for a few seconds, right? Forget that. If there was evidence, and people say, oh, there was evidence, look at this and look at that, and we have a way of determining elections, and if when there are issues or irregularities or whatever you want to call them, then you have the court system. And the court system, the Trump campaign had every avenue. They had over 60 lawsuits to present real evidence that showed that there was foul play by it doesn't matter, by someone, some party, to change the results of a fair election. And every time they presented evidence, judges never accepted it because it didn't merit.
Well,
right?
That's what I said the other day when I did a short clip, and I called it cognitive dissonance. And this is before, I think this was before January 6th. It might have been after. But I said, as much as I felt as there was fuckery during the election, what I ultimately said, though, was this. And I said, kind of like what I said to you. In this 25-minute clip, which is I posted in like the last week, I said, I made fun of my friends on the left for 4 years when they said he was a Russian Manchurian candidate. And then all these reports came out.
Which, by the way, was also wrong.
Well, what I'm getting at is...
I've never said that about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I've never said that about him.
What I'm getting at is it went through all of this, and then even when it came out that there was nothing, I remember seeing everyone still saying, well, fuck it, he still is. And I was like, you're choosing a reality. And what I realized was I said, hey, this is a guy who's the president, who has 18 intelligence agencies at his fingertips, and who, it doesn't matter if you get censored by Twitter. You're the president. If you really want to get a message out, you'll have it on every screen in 2 seconds.
Exactly. You step out in the press room, you've got literally every channel on the world ready for you.
Not even that. You're the president. You can just fucking use the emergency broadcast system. You'll be on every camera. So what I said was, as much as I felt in my gut that there was fuckery, I said, if he doesn't present evidence, it's not because he didn't have, A, the means to do it. 18 intelligence agencies, they have everything. And B, it's not that he wasn't able to get it out. Censored on Twitter, sure, you're the president, you can step on and get it done. And that's what I said. And I said in the last week, I said I think it will be presented. But if he does not, it's because it didn't exist. Here we are. Biden was inaugurated yesterday. Not my guy. But I'm going to stick to what I said. If evidence wasn't presented, then it wasn't there. And that is me trying to step out of my cognitive dissonance bubble. There's nothing said he's a Russian candidate. There's no evidence. Well, he still is. That's bullshit. Well, guess what? There was no evidence. And as much as I'd love to be the first to say, God, I'm right, the cheating left. Where's the evidence? And I don't like that. I liked Trump. I loved Trump. Biden wasn't my guy. But I cannot, as a 30-year-old man, not look at certain facts. And I, more than anyone, would have loved to see it. Where was it? And if there is no evidence, then there is no evidence. And it pains me to say that, but there isn't any evidence. So where the fuck is it? Sorry, Ernie, go on.
No, but that's exactly right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. They had, as I was saying, 60 chances to go to federal courts. They even try to go to the Supreme Court, which obviously denied, the writ. But... And like you're saying, I mean, listen, I can make any claim I want. I can claim to you that last night I was hanging out with aliens all night. I got high off some alien weed. It was phenomenal, right? And you're going to say, well, did you? Okay. Well, I call bullshit. Like, okay, show me proof. Like, give me the proof that you hung out with aliens. If you're going to make extraordinary claims, you've got to have extraordinary proof.
Yes.
I mean, I say this all the time, and it's just so true. And so you cannot just go to a court of law and say, hey, this election was stolen. You got to fix it for me. We're going to ask you, okay, great. You have a claim. Where is your evidence? And if you don't have evidence that merits the courts, the system of law we've had in this country for 230 years is not going to change for Donald Trump.
Yes.
It's just not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's been that way for 200 plus years for a reason.
Yeah.
And so, that was a massive lie. And what I have a lot of issue with, Tommy, and I know why it happened, but is you have Republican leaders in Congress, even Mitch McConnell, up until he had to stand up. He was humoring the big lie. He kept saying, oh, we'll never know. Kevin McCarthy, the leader in the House, who could be the Speaker of the House, if the majority of the House. I mean, this guy's the Republican. We don't know who'll be president on January 20th. We don't know. I mean, guys.
Yeah.
And we wonder why people went to the Capitol.
Yeah.
And we wonder why when you feed people lies and you tell them this is stolen from you.
Yeah.
The left is cheating.
Yeah.
And you believe it? Of course you're gonna think, holy shit.
Well, yeah.
My democracy's at stake.
Well, and then you have guys like me who are like, I think it was stolen. But now here I am. Hey, where's the evidence? And I'm saying this as a right-leaning guy. I would be happier than anyone else if there was. At a certain point, I have to look at it and go, you know what? There's 346 million people here. As much as I'd love this to be Tommyland, it's not. This can be Tommy's podcast. This isn't Tommyland.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and it hurts.
So
no one likes that. No one likes losing.
No, it hurts, Tommy, but it's the truth, and
Sure.
And if we don't speak to the truth, if we keep coddling conspiracies, and if we keep coddling, a worldview that is just not a part of reality,
yes,
we're going to continue to see these attacks.
Yeah,
we're going to continue to see folks upset. Everything was stolen, taken from me. I have nothing. I can barely find a job. What do I have to lose if I go and take the head? Seriously, what do I have to lose?
Yeah,
that's the country we're gonna become.
Yeah,
and I don't know how.
Ernie's breaking up. Ernie, you're.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. You're back. You're back. Go on. Sorry.
All right. I don't know what happened. I was saying I don't know how we're going to solve the large issues of our day if we can't even agree on who won an election.
Sure.
I mean, it's just when January 6th happened, my dad called me as it was happening. And he goes, son, can you believe what's happening in D.C.? And I was like, I really can't. This is insane. You know what he said to me? He said, this is what happens in Peru, my son, not in the United States of America. This doesn't happen here. He goes, what is going on with this country? This country was founded, and listen, we've never been perfect. We've had a civil war,
sure,
right? But over the last 100 years, let's not even say, let's just give him 50, modern politics, We've never had a president who incited the violent mob onto the representatives of our country. We've never had a president who never even called the guy that beat him to congratulate him or to wish him good luck. He did leave him a nice note. Well, that's good. But it was, again, as I think I've told you plenty of times, Tommy, it was all about him. His ego was so hurt that he couldn't put the country above himself. And that, to me, is unforgivable.
Yeah.
That is one of many reasons why, to me, I didn't think he was fit to be president.
Sure.
Because he was so, and look, it is who he is. I mean, right? He's not going to change.
Yeah.
We knew that when we voted him in. So I just have to say, I don't want to keep shitting on Trump. It's over. I'm calling for unity. I'm over here talking about Trump. But,
sure.
But I think it's we must remember, and we must know who did what happened, and who incited what, and never forget. Because that's something that shouldn't happen in this country.
Yeah.
That happens again. Where I grew up, where my dad grew up, not here. Yeah. And we should never let that become normal.
Yeah.
That's just not okay. Left, right, middle, I don't care who the hell you are. So we hope that doesn't continue again. But I think in order to do that, we've got to have an aggressive policy that's going to help people. And so let's
get on there.
Go directly into Joe Biden and what he wants to do. So I made some notes.
Win me over, Ernie, and give me some silver linings.
I don't think I'll win you over, but I will tell you this.
Give me some silver linings so I don't sit here and go, oh, it's all doom and gloom. I don't want to be that. I want to.
Right.
I want something.
Keep in mind, a Democratic president just won. We have a Democratic Senate and a Democratic House. So, at the risk of sounding too partisan, when you win an election, you want your priorities passed. I mean, that's why you fight for power and you campaign and right. So, I think the biggest business that we have to take care of is COVID.
Yeah.
But I made a point to write this down because I think this is important. You know, the first bill that the Biden administration already sent to Congress yesterday, or even maybe a bit today, I'm sorry, was the Us Citizenship Act of 2021. So it's an immigration bill. The very first thing they did, they vowed to the Hispanic community to pass an immigration bill within the first 100 days. Now, whether that will happen or not, that's another, who knows.
Sure.
But at least on day one, they are introducing that legislation. Now, that's a big deal, and that's a big constituency of, obviously, the Democratic Party. To people like me who know immigration, who understand the plight that a lot of immigrants go through, right? As I've told you before, when we first moved here, I lived in an unfinished basement for a few months. So I get it. No, I've never been poor. I've never not had anything to eat, so I'm not going to act like I was some.
Sure.
But I've been through hardship too. I've been made fun of for the way I spoke when I was a young kid. So I understand what that's all about. I understand what that's like, and that could have been me. Easily could have been me, as undocumented. So by the grace of God, I'm not. So I don't have anything personally to gain from this, just so everyone knows. Some people may think, oh, this liberal just wants to become a citizen. No, I'm already a U.S. citizen. Been it since 2012. But again, guys, you've got to understand, a lot of Hispanic people a lot of Hispanic people know undocumented immigrants. And so they're good people. They work hard. They've been here, most of them, for over 10 years, over 65% of undocumented folks. They're part of your community. I think most people, if you ask them about Hispanic people, they'll tell you they're very hardworking folks. So, none of them take anything for free. that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
So what this bill will do is it will legalize, right, if we get into some specifics, the 10 plus million documented folks who've been here for a long time. It will give them an option so they have to be in the United States before January of 2021. Which is generous, I will admit. Maybe that can be something that can be negotiated, because that is literally like today or this week.
Yeah.
But maybe it should be back to 2017 or something.
Sure.
Maybe that's something you can negotiate, but that's just at least what they proposed,
sure.
Right? So once living here, it gives you a work permit, and you can leave and come back into the country, and then you can apply for a green card once you pass a background check and pay taxes. And after 5 years, after 5 years of basically a status where you're protected, you apply for a green card. And after you have your green card, you've got 3 years, you apply for your citizenship. So it's an 8-year path. It's not immediate. It's an 8-year path. It's going to take a long time. Now, you may not like that. I don't know. That's why I said what I said at the beginning. But I think that has been a priority of folks like me who've worked in politics for a long time to pass an immigration bill. It's a big deal.
Sure.
We did it in the Senate in 2013, and the House, as I told you in the past, I couldn't do it, but I think it's time. I think Hispanics voted for Joe Biden in a major way, partly because of this. This is a big issue to a lot of Hispanic folks. So I think I choose it. I think it speaks to the priorities, and it really, I think, contrasts with what Donald Trump. I mean, immediately, right? Donald Trump comes on the elevator and immediately attacks immigrants. Joe Biden, on his first bill to the Congress, is to legalize the 13 million folks who are here. So talk about a change in priorities and contrasts, right? Elections of consequences. And so this to me was a big deal, as it should be. And I hope it gets done. I doubt it will get done, if I'm honest with you. I think other things are going to take priority. Well, because I think COVID's going to take priority.
Okay.
I think healthcare is going to take priority, if I'm being honest. I think the president's going to be more worried about healthcare. I think he'll push, but you've got to remember, in the United States Senate, you need 60 votes to be able to pass anything. The Democrats have 50 votes plus the vice president's of 51. That leaves you 9 votes short of invoking cloture to break a filibuster. And so if you can't do that, you can't pass legislation, right? Now you can pass it via some other obscure ways. Obamacare, for example, was passed via what was called reconciliation, without the need for 60 votes, simple majority. Something to do with money. I don't really understand it. Some obscure procedure in Congress, but they'll get some stuff done that way. But the major bills, you can't pass an immigration bill via reconciliation. That's not going to happen. Okay. So you're going to need at least 9, probably not 10 Republicans. And last time 13 of them voted for the bill, but those were different times. That was 7 years ago. So.
That's light years, right?
In politics, that is light years,
especially in 2020 or 2021 years. But
I ask you, what do you think of that? I mean, do you think that's a good idea? Do you think of some on the right say? So I've already seen it today, and they said, "Oh, it feels like you care more about folks who are not Americans and you do about them." And I certainly understand that.
Yeah. No, and for everything I will say, anyone can go back into any of the previous 322 episodes and cite me. One thing I'd always kind of get shit for is I would say I do believe abortion is murdering a child as someone with a biology degree, but then I'd also say, and I think you should be allowed to. So it was kind of that, oh, fuck you. But I was like, biologically, I'm telling you what it is. But honestly, as someone that has an attitude, doesn't like people telling me in high school how long my hair can be, I've always said, despite me not agreeing with it ethically, I can't imagine someone telling me what to do with my body. So in that, I say this. Even in college, voted for Obama in 2008, Romney in 2012. I was pre-med, wanted to be a doctor, didn't want any fucking shitty Obamacare. Straight up was just like, fuck that. One argument I did always make, and I made this then, and I've made this in past podcasts, is one thing we can all agree on is this, is you shouldn't be able to be turned down in an emergency room, right? That's barbaric. I even said that at my farthest right point. I said you shouldn't be able to do that. Right. Well, if we've already established, and this was an argument I used to make in college and when trying to get into medical school, I was like, despite being a Republican, I'll tell you why I don't truly hate Obamacare. I did, but I didn't. And it was this, is that everyone is still going to be able to go to the emergency room. So why not nip that in the bud and just give them something? Because the reality is if we can all agree that we're not shutting off the emergency room, even the most far-right guys would be like, yeah, that's probably inhumane. Okay, so we've covered that base thing, right? Let's say that we agree that no one's allowed to starve. And if at the last moment you can call 911 and say, I need food, and a specialized drone will come drop a Happy Meal in your front lawn. And we all agree that's probably good. Your child's starving, you should be able to have food right there. Let's just make up this hypothetical thing. Well, if we've all agreed upon this hypothetical thing, that food can be delivered via drone, why don't we just get a cheaper version of that and be like, yo, actually, fuck it, there's a section of Walmart you can go to and get a meal. Why don't we just chop out that expensive drone? So when I used to say about healthcare, as much as I don't agree with it, the reality is this is already a law that you can't be turned down, so why don't we just preemptively hit that? The reality is these people are here, they do work here, they're going to be part of social programs, and they're going to vote. This isn't...
Well, they're not going to be part of social programs if they are for at least 8 years until they become a citizen.
Point is what I'm saying.
And that being said, I think most people agree on this. Most Hispanic people don't like shit for free. They will work. Will there be an increase? I'm sure some will be on it.
Well,
but I don't have numbers to back it up. It's just me.
Point is what I'm saying is they're here and they're working. Why not make them part of the tax base? If this is Tommy country, it's all my way. The reality is this is Tommy's podcast exists within Tommy's country. So even as my most far right workout every day looked like a fucking Nazi pre-med guy, and I still said, hey, there's going to be healthcare whether you like it or not. Might as well make a cheap version. So to answer your question in long form, I think it's going to happen one way or another.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
So I think, and here you may like this, part of the arguments that conservatives make to not pass any laws, they say, well, Reagan did it in the 80s, and he did.
I was about to say, didn't he?
2 million people. And they said, it created a magnet for people when they came, and now you've got 13 million people, 20 years later. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen again, right? You legalize people, come again. Well, part of this bill, part of it is they're giving $4 billion over the next 4 years, so $1 billion per year to El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to try and revitalize their economies, to make sure that people are happy there so they don't come up here. Now, we can debate whether or not it's a good policy, right? Should I give my tax dollars to these countries? But the reality is, over the last 30 years, things haven't changed. Things have gotten worse, if not the same, in those countries. People flee, they come to the United States. I would rather try and help them down there and give them money down there than having to use our resources and compete for our jobs and create a whole new wave of immigrants. So I think that works to solve a couple of things. It's saying, okay, no, I'm going to legalize folks here. I'm going to make sure that their economies back home are solid so that they don't have to, that another wave doesn't come again in 5 or 10 years. Because as I've said before, being an immigrant myself, you cannot take everyone in. It is literally impossible. You've got to have borders. Another part of it too is they're going to increase funding for border enforcement, for security, for officer training, infrastructures at the border, so things like that. So the bill's comprehensive. It's not just, hey, let's legalize 13 million people and just fuck it, right? Sure. It's going to have other measures at the borders, make sure that we have things in place. If that's walls, then that's walls. That's okay.
My conservative take on it is, I'm definitely against giving money to those countries, and I would say more so, why don't we have a middle ground? Sure, build a wall, but also double the size of the immigration centers where you have to legally come through. All right, if we're not going to let them all in, fine. I would say don't give money to their countries, but I'd say let's maybe double the number of places where you can go and apply for citizenship. Right? If we're gonna pull a plug over here, let's make sure we have 2 drains or 3 drains or 4 drains. But again, ultimately, yeah, that's my agree to disagree. But as you said, we gotta fucking talk. So let's talk. Back to you, Ernie.
So that's what the Democrats or what the administration is proposing. That's their first bill. So again, talk about a change of priorities, which to me, I don't know if you remember this. I have been calling for Joe Biden for president since 2015.
I know you have.
I thought to me, he was a continuation, I've told you before, of Obama. Yeah. He was his vice president. Mm-hmm. So, this is a huge vindication to me that this guy gets in office in the very first thing he said.
What I was going to say is there's actually a huge vindication for you, because there are episodes before he even got the nomination of you coming on here, episode like 30 or something, and you're like, Tommy, let me tell you who's going to run, who's going to win, Joe Biden. I was like, fuck you, Ernie, tell me why. I'm diabetic now with the amount of humble pie I've had to eat. So, you know what, Ernie, you fucking called it.
Dude, because dude, I told you, listen, it's very simple. I told you this day one. 3 states. That was it.
And you said that. And you fucking said that.
Yes. And Joe was able to flip 2 more in Arizona. I'd never in my wildest dreams expected. I'm not kidding, dude. I didn't even think John Ossoff and Warnock would win the Senate. I really didn't. I thought we'd lose. I'm not going to lie to you. I really did. And I was wrong. And I'm so glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't believe it. Again, to me, it was the 3 states. People in those states know Joe Biden. He's been in the Congress for 47 fucking years. He's from Pennsylvania. He was born in Scranton. To me, it was so simple. You take the bombastic guy who is an entertainer, who's funny, that's fine. But in the middle of huge peril of a pandemic, of people losing their jobs, it seems like he doesn't care. It seems like he doesn't.
Ernie?
Oh, you're back. It's just so simple. To me, it was the simplest thing.
You know what I might have to do is I think I might have to go back, because I think you've been on 7 or 8 times before this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to stitch together all the episodes, and it will conclude with this one where it's the day after Biden is inaugurated. Surely, and if I got to give respect where respect is due, and you fucking called it. So I think I might have to stitch together all those episodes and have it culminating with this. Ernie, did you freeze up again? Looks like.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, you're back, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It always it goes.
Yeah, it's fucking what it is. I think I'm going to stitch all of your previous episodes together.
Yeah, no, I heard. Dude,
okay. Yeah, I'll do it. You have my word, I'll do it. Ernie? Come on, internet. Ernie, I think that web on your end is freezing up.
That's trash. Can you hear me now?
We're good. Go.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, my internet's trash, bro. I'm sorry.
That's what it is. Don't worry.
It's so bad. But, again, it's not that I'm, in love with Joe Biden, or I think he's, some, transformative figure. Let's be honest here. He was a damn racist in the 70s. And he said, it's just the truth. He said, I don't want my kids in the Jungle Book. Right? How could I deny that? How could I deny the fact this guy gets on a black shirt that says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black? What? What are you saying, dude? You sound like Donald Trump. You can't say that. Let's be honest here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. It's not like you forgot No, come on, guys. But at least this guy's trying.
Ernie.
Folks, the way he touched women was wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so at least he's trying now in an old age. Is it enough? For people on the right, it will never be enough.
Sure.
But at least he's trying.
Sure.
What did we say, right? It will never be enough, but try.
Sure. I'll see you on that. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? And so to me, that's a huge deal, especially coming from what we just went through with Donald Trump and what he said about minorities and how and it was funny, don't get me wrong. I thought the guy was entertaining. I thought he was hysterical. I think the guy's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I really do. I think he's a hysterical dude. I don't think he's fit to be president of the United States.
Sure.
I just don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But so that's the immigration piece, right? Which I think is a big deal. Now, COVID, obviously, that's he's asked Congress to pass a $2 trillion COVID relief package, right? Broken down, you got a $2 trillion bill, $400 billion. Wrote this down here, guys, so I can get the exact wording here. $400 billion for testing and to increase vaccine supply, right? We're not vaccinating folks at a fast enough rate. Apparently, New York's about to run out of vaccine in 2 days, so that's a huge failure. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. But $400 billion for that. $1 trillion for direct payments to Americans, so the $1,400 remaining to finish the job, as the president called it, and then $440 billion emergency funds for cash poor small businesses, communities, cities. So it's a comprehensive approach. People say that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But today, 900. We had a report come out from the Department of Labor. 900,000 people filed for unemployment this past month. 1 million people. That is the situation Joe Biden is walking into today.
Yeah. The
highest deaths of COVID since the pandemic, or maybe if not high, at least near highs. 1 million people. I mean, it's bonkers. But we got to figure it out. And so this is telling me where we need Republicans. And I understand in debating and saying, you know what, maybe $2 trillion is too much, but this is where we need the two parties to come together. This cannot be held up. This cannot. I mean, it was already held up enough, under the last administration with everything that was going on, and that was everyone's fault, not just Trump. It was Nancy's, and it was McConnell, and it was everyone's. Pelosi had a huge part to play as well. So, guys, again, I'm a Democrat, but I try to step out of my bubble for everyone who's watching. Mm-hmm. None of our leaders are perfect. They make plenty of mistakes, and it's okay to recognize them. It's okay to say that Nancy didn't get quarter the problem, and it should be recognized. And so that's how you keep them accountable, sure. Right? If you always go yes to a leader, that's not good. Yeah. We need to get past that. But yeah. So hopefully that will happen. But to me, that's a big deal, right? That's on the domestic front, mm-hmm. Right? So immigration, 13 million folks. If we can get rid of that, you got COVID, and then I think the other thing, COVID obviously is huge. We could debate and spend a lot more time on it, but the pivotal things are vaccine distribution, PPE, money to people who need it, right? Because I don't really need money. Now, if I'm going to get money, I'll take money, but I don't need it, right? And so, right? So, I don't have a problem with that stimulus being more directed at those who need it. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Sure. I don't need $200, but I'll take it. I'm trying to buy a house. I'll take it. So that's important. And then I think what ties into all this, and I think the president is going to try and make this an issue, or he should, is healthcare, right? Is how do we get more access to folks, right? And this is where you and I are probably going to disagree, maybe not. Biden's plan, is what a lot of Republicans call socialism. And if that's what you want to call it, that's what you want to call it. I'm not going to debate that. But I will say that I think the Democratic Party has a mission, and it started with Obamacare, to make sure that every person in this country has affordable health care. Now, affordable is a key word, right? Because healthcare is expensive as heck. And, no matter what we've done to try and curb the costs, we've curbed it a bit, but it still always increases. So I think the Biden plan was to expand Medicare as a public option. So basically say here's a public option. It's exactly the same thing as Medicare that people love and are satisfied with. And anyone over the age of 18 can sign up for free. It's a public plan.
And
now, you don't have to sign up.
To your surprise, that is actually something I do agree upon, and that's something that my fellow Trump supporters, again, kind of like me saying, I think abortion's killing, but I also think it's okay. That's actually something that my conservative friends do not agree with. But that's just, to me, I'm like, I just think you got to have health care. At the very least, hell, keep people in work so you can tax them and keep getting money.
Dude. You can have economic growth. People spending 70% of GDP's consumer spending, my friends.
You can't be doing that when everyone's dead.
So, okay, well, then we agree. Now we can find the ways as to why. But I think the Medicare, and again, it doesn't force anyone into anything. It's not a national takeover.
Yeah.
It's not ending private insurance. It's just saying, if you don't like your insurance, keep it. It's all yours. Do your thing. That ain't going to change. If you don't like your insurance, here's a public option for you. Sign up for free. Now, what you probably find over time, since it's free, so a lot of people, obviously it's always going to be the needy first. Everyone who needs it is going to sign up immediately. It's going to be a lot of people. Probably 30, 40 million people. Easy.
Sure.
Because about 20 million lost their insurance during the Trump presidency because he did away with the individual mandate. So people didn't have to have it, so they said, okay, screw it. We'll just not have it. So a lot of people... But I think it's a good idea. I think it's a way to move forward, and I think it's sort of a compromise between saying no, it's got to be government run for everything, right? Because that's not going to work in America. It's just not, right? 184% of Americans get their health care insurance through their job. Yeah. But again, if they had a choice, or if they don't want to worry about not having to switch jobs because they have good health care, then they can go to the public option, right? You free people up to be entrepreneurs, to start businesses. They don't have to worry about, I can't leave my job because I can't afford insurance. What if I get sick?
Sure.
What about my kids? So that was going to feel a lot of folks too.
You get cancer and you're bankrupt, yeah.
Right. And as we've talked about before, I don't know the updated stats, but before Obamacare, the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country was healthcare costs. And I told you this, right? 60% of those folks already had healthcare insurance. That's wild.
That's fucking insane.
Wild.
That's insane.
Wild. If that doesn't show you how fucked up the system is, what the hell does?
And I the point of where I was never, I don't get agreed upon with my fellow conservatives, and is, Ernie, you know my situation. I lost a sibling.
Grab some water. Keep talking.
Yeah. You're good. Ernesto Ausejo, looking sexy in his white cotton shirt and his golf hat, sad dad dance. As you know, Ernie, I lost a sibling to suicide, and I always, have little insight with still protecting my family's privacy. Is he attempted suicide several months before he committed suicide. After he attempted, he went and had to basically get, forced public health care before he moved home. And one thing I always think about is, what if there was at least an option to have go and seen him? And maybe there was. Maybe I'm using my brother's death, and maybe I'm not using it morally. Maybe he did have the option and didn't go. I don't know. But that is something I always think about is, would that have, maybe it only would have delayed it. Who knows? And I'm not trying to turn this, to me, it almost feels like pulling the race card because I'm like, my brother would have. I think everyone should have access to it.
What you're getting down to, Tommy? I think this is something fundamental that I haven't even made an argument for in so long because of how disruptive our politics have gotten. Because we don't talk policy, we just yell at each other.
Yeah.
And we're finally, I think, going to talk policy again.
Yeah.
What it goes to, and this is a core reason why I'm a Democrat, is it goes to the morality of our country.
Sure.
What kind of country do we want to be, really, if you think about that for a minute? We want to be a country where every single American, every person who's so lucky to call themselves an American citizen, has the ability to see a doctor and seek out help when they need it. Shouldn't be a luxury for those who can afford it or have a good job.
Yeah.
Because it goes very much to the same minimum wage debate, which we may disagree on. Well, they're flipping burgers. They need $15 an hour. Well, they're doing this. My friends, the dignity of work is just, to me, I don't care what you're doing. If you're working 40 plus hours a week in the richest country in the world, my friends, you should be able to feed your family.
To get an apartment.
You should be able to get an apartment. This is America.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
McDonald's, my friends, has billions of dollars in profits. They pay their CEOs millions of dollars a year. And you're telling me we can't afford to help those who literally keep those businesses open?
Sure.
I understand it's not the most luxurious job. I wouldn't want to be a McDonald's cook.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I wouldn't want to be a server. I wouldn't want to be this. That's why I'm a professional. I work for a massive corporation. I'm an account executive, dude. So you see what I mean? So I understand all that, right? And I understand some folks are just lazy, but the cost of living has gone up significantly over the last 30 years. It continues to go up, no matter if you raise the minimum wage or not. If you had kept the pace of minimum wage up with inflation, if the law said the minimum wage should raise with inflation, the minimum wage today would be $15 an hour, my friends. That is a fact. And so
I didn't know that.
We're not arguing for $30 or $40. I mean, and so those to me, that's a fact. Feel free to look it up.
No. And I was going to say, for me, I just kind of like, I don't morally agree with abortion, but I can't imagine someone ever telling me what to do. It'd be like if someone said, Tommy, you can't fuck until you get a vasectomy because you don't have the money to father a child. I'd be like, even though I don't want, I would just be like, fuck you, So That being said, I can't speak on that because I admittedly don't know anything about economics. So I'm not going to take a left or a right stance. I'm just going to acknowledge my ignorance. I don't know. And so I don't want to get riled up.
I mean, look, the data says there is data, and I'm not an economist either, but I've obviously read on this stuff.
You're just sexy.
Feel free to look this up yourself. The data says, yes, there is a small increase in prices. This is true. They're going to make up somewhere, for it. But it's not going to go up like, you're not going to pay $10 for a Big Mac. Matter of fact, you're already probably paying about $7 for a Big Mac meal anyways.
Yeah.
So that's already been going up. So the reality is, we'll go up. We're talking maybe 15, 20 cents nationally. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like it's gonna be some calamity. I mean, if that was the case, my friends, it would have already happened when we raised the minimum wage, right? Yeah. And so, but again, it speaks to a Democratic core. And the reason why, I'm a Democrat is because it's a matter of morality. Who are we fighting for? Sure. Are we fighting to give tax cuts to people who make incredible amounts of money and are going to be just fine, whether you give them a tax cut or not? Or you're looking to help the people who can barely get by, who work 40 hours a week and still need government assistance?
Yeah.
I mean, it's to me, it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, whose priority should the government be?
If I may, I would tie in how I see it. What you're saying, sure, people that can't get by, they can't even. This is America, damn it. To me, that's where I would bring in the whole $1 billion to Guatemala, El Salvador. I would say, hey, and this is where you get, and might not, this is where people like myself were drawn to Trump, because it was, hey, there's nothing wrong with taking care of America first. And I don't want to go back onto Trump, but the point is what you're saying. I'm with you. There's people that can't afford these things, but before we go give billions to El Salvador and Guatemala and wherever, we put that here first. So that's kind of where but back to what you're saying is like, we have to talk instead of sitting here.
But here's the thing, right?
Ernie, you and your billions of dollars back to the South. We're not getting anywhere. So
right. But that's the thing. We can do both.
Sure. I'm
telling you, we can do both. Now you're going to tell me, oh my God, we're in so much debt. We owe. How can you tell me we can do both?
$27 trillion. We're never paying that back. Let's all accept that now. We're not.
Well, but I mean, listen. Let's just be honest here. If you're going to tell me, I mean, again, it's a matter of priorities, Tommy.
Sure.
We just did it in the last administration. We just cut taxes for all Americans. You know what these guys always do too? The trick? It's coming up. The tax cuts will expire during the Biden administration. You know why they do that, right?
Oh, those dirty Democrats.
So if you let them expire, the Democrats are raising taxes on you. No. You literally wrote the law, and you wrote it for 5 years on purpose. You got a political argument in 5 years to say, you want to raise taxes on America. Well, dude, if you didn't want to raise them, you should have made the tax cuts permanent. But you didn't. Because it's bad math. You can't make it up. But it's a smart strategy by Republicans, right?
It's sure.
Who's gonna say, we're gonna raise taxes on everyone? What happens is the tax cuts for everyone except people who make $250,000, $300K, they stay the same, and then theirs go up. That's what the Democrats' fix has been. You can't do that forever. At some point, if you want to pay for what you want to pay for, you got to tax everyone. Maybe a little more. I'm not talking about 15, 20%, but
sure.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Eisenhower administration, just saying the top tax bracket was like 90% to pay off the war debt.
It was in the 50s and the 50s.
And that's a fact. That's not something I necessarily agree with, but I'm just saying that is a fact.
It is a fact, absolutely. Now, it's not 90% of all of the income, right? It's a percentage.
Yeah. I got
it's not, it's not like they're taking, if you make 100K, you're going to
No, Ernie, those Democrats were literally putting us against the wall with guns in our heads, and they said Mao Zedong, and you'd have to say yes, the Great Leap Forward, or they'd shoot you. That's a fact. No, I got you.
But again, so healthcare, the minimum wage, those are issues that not only are they economical, you can make economic arguments, from those issues, but at the core, it's at the core of who we are as a country, Tommy. I think the United States of America, what do? We go and we help out people, as we've been discussing, all around the world who need help. We go and fight wars for them. We go and rebuild their countries. We go and make sure that canals and passageways are free, so that there's commerce. We do that all around the world.
Yeah.
We should be able to do that for people at home, and we do it for some.
Sure.
But that's the difference, right? And that's why, again, it's morality. Do you want to be the country that lets people die because they couldn't afford to go to the doctor? People who postpone appointments because there's not enough money, because it's too expensive. There's got to be a way.
There has to, and that's.
If we've afforded everything we can afford to help our own people.
And that's one thing I always do say, and I'd like to point out for my own ego's sake, I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. Fuck them. One thing I look at it, I'm like, hey, I try to look at it as like a challenge. I don't look at it as this is a communist thing, even though I do throw out that term a lot, and I always will, unapologetically. But if all these other first world nations can do it, why can't we do it? And then I try to put it as a challenge. I'm like, why can't we do it? And why can't we be the best? Why can't we have that 1969 Apollo moon landing feeling about it? We'll do it, and we'll do it not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Tell me, I'll tell you why. And this goes to the cynicism in me. And it's not only Republicans do this, right? Republicans do it too. But since we're talking healthcare, can we agree on this? In the last 60 years of American politics, which has been the party that has tried to extend healthcare? The Democratic Party, correct? Sure. It's always been the Democratic Party.
Correct.
At least at the national level. At the state level, Mitt Romney did it. I'm sure a few others have as well. But at least on a national scale. And so when we try to do this stuff, we get called socialists. We get told that we're going to ruin America. Obamacare, right? And for all of your subscribers who are watching this, guys, what is Obamacare? You and I have had this discussion. People said Obamacare, it's socialism. It's the end of America. Government-run healthcare and takeover. It's going to destroy who we are. Remember, that was 10 years ago, my friends. The law is still the law of the land 11 years later. And we've insured 20 million more people. We've made sure the healthcare costs are at the slowest rate of increase in 50 years.
Really?
Yeah. Now, it's still increasing, right? That's no solace to people who say, well, my fucking bill went up $600. I don't care about slowing. It's as an average in the entire country, right? But yes, right? Part of that was due to the recession, when we're coming out of the recession earlier in the teens. But that's just true because it changed the way that Medicare paid out doctors. It wasn't any more per visit, but rather it was per outcome. So if your patient got better, then I'm going to pay you more, and you don't need to get that patient in again. You see what I mean? So it changed the way Medicare and Medicaid paid out physicians, which was a big deal in how they were spending, what the federal government was spending. So, but guys, so those are a few goals. But what is it? If you're gonna attack something, I hope you know what the hell you're attacking, right? And so the reality is, it did a couple of things. We talked about this. I don't want to get too into the weeds, but it reformed the insurance industry into what kinds of protections. So the most popular things of Obamacare, for example, you can stay up in your insurance till you're 26. It closed a donut hole for seniors on Medicare who were going to get an extra $600 in terms of, there was like a whole, literally, it's a weird thing. It's a percentage for an amount and then another percentage, but they didn't get a percentage.
There's a weird middle. Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, so it closed the donut hole for those guys. It changed the law, my friends, to tell insurance companies, listen, you can no longer discriminate based on pre-existing conditions. You can, which is obviously a big deal. You can no longer have lifetime caps. So before, the law was, I've paid Every month I get cancer, your policy said, sorry, you can only spend $100,000 a year. So if you hit your $100,000 mark, you're shit out of luck. Sorry, you could have been paying for 50 years, your premiums, you never were sick. But sorry, you hit your cap for the year, so tough luck, buddy. That was the reason why people were going bankrupt, because they hit their caps. They didn't have any money. They had to max out the credit cards. They had to get loans.
Fuck.
Guys, we changed that. Barack Obama and Obamacare changed that. So, those are big popular things. That was one side. That was a regulation of how the insurance industry charged and classified Americans. You then have the actual insurance plan piece, the pools in the markets, the marketplace, right? That was a disaster in the rollout in 2013 or 12. 13. What do those do? Those literally put people in one state, so the state of Georgia, everyone who was uninsured, you pulled them all together into one group and you said, okay, it may make more sense if instead of Ernesto just trying to get a policy with the big three, I've got a few 100,000 people that need a policy now. The power of economics, right? Now I'm bargaining as a group, as big companies do. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll get a lower price. Guys, it's economics. Big bad communism, socialism. This is literally what it was.
Ernie, you are like the Uncle Tom for like white conservatives that like you like ease the brake of liberalism. You're a Hispanic guy talking economics in a fucking like master's hat and a polo. It's Ernie. It's like Ernie. You're like the prepackaged Uncle Tom. Your Uncle Tom at TOMAS.
Man, white people are very comfortable with me because I grew up with them. So,
yes. And for everyone listening, Ernie and I have been friends since fall 2009. But seriously, yeah, no,
but
okay, yeah.
So you know what I mean, guys. So and then now here's the part where we can disagree, and this is why this was a Democratic plan. It was more government to an extent. I will obviously give you that because we think government can help.
Sure.
We could vehemently disagree on that. That's just a philosophical difference.
That's a favorite color. Right. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But what we did is we said, okay, we're going to pull everyone together. We then are going to mandate in the law that everyone has to have insurance so that everyone has skin in the game. Because if you don't have skin in the game, what's going to happen is the people who need it most, the older, the sick, are going to go get the insurance. It's going to skew more high risk. Mm-hmm. Prices are going to rise. But if you have the healthy folks like you, like me, in the pool, you help them to subsidize some of that cost for those older, sicker folks, right?
Yeah.
Just the way.
And the point being is this is what I came back to, even pre-med, super far right. I would say I was more far right then than I am now. The me then would say, and as much as I don't like this government stepping in, the reality is you are still going to offset that insurance, because if they don't get any, they're going to go to the ER. And guess what? Next time you go to the ER, if you play Grand Theft Auto, when you have a small bank account and you go get shot up by an Uzi and you die, your bill is about $5. Later in the game, after you do the final heist at not Paleto Bay, but the Union Depository, and you get $20 million. If you will notice, every time you die and go to jail, guess what? $5,000 for a respawn. Yep. So, point being is, there's no such thing as a free lunch. It does get subsidized one way or another.
The federal government already had a pot of money that it gave hospitals that didn't get paid. We were already subsidizing these people. We were already doing it. And instead, we literally said, no. Now you got to pay for yours.
And the thing I come back to is everyone, Republican and Democrat, you ask, will say, no, you shouldn't be able to turn someone away at an emergency department. So if you agree with that, then you agree with subsidies. If you don't agree with that, okay, I guess I respect your cold-hearted psychopathy, right. I guess, but But you're not a human being, not in today's society. Right? So that's correct. So we pool people, hopefully that brings down costs, to make sure that everyone's in the pool so that, again, we're trying to hold down costs. That's the imperative here, right? And then for those who cannot afford, since you're making them buy insurance, the government is going to mandate that was the individual mandate. If you're going to mandate, and then those who cannot afford it, you got to do one of two things. You expanded Medicaid, and Medicaid eligibility expanded a little bit. That was another part of Obamacare. The second piece was, if you didn't qualify for Medicaid, then, okay, we'll help you to pay for the plans. Guys, private insurance plans, not government plans, not Medicare plans, private insurance plans. Kaiser Permanente, Cigna, whatever you want to think of. So, guys, yes, it's a little bit of government subsidy to help some folks, which Democrats think is a good idea. Some people don't, and I respect that opinion. It's just a philosophical difference. But that, my friends, is not communism. Helping folks What that
to
is
just get a private healthcare insurance is not communism.
What if
you can say it's assistance, you can say it's government help. This is true.
If philosophical disagreement comes down to, let's put it to a vote, and that's what it is. Elections have consequences.
And then keep in mind, the Republican Party had the majority for the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. They could have repealed Obamacare, and they never did.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no alternative to it.
Yeah.
If you go back to what was happening before, you're going to take away all the protections. And here's the thing. If you still keep the protections, but you do away with everything else, the costs are going to skyrocket. Because now you're mandating insurance companies cover all the stuff, or at least things that are going to make things more expensive. But you're not going to pool people anymore. People are out on their own. It's going to make things way more expensive. Obamacare isn't perfect, but it was just a way of helping. So, guys, if you're ever going to complain about Obamacare, make sure you listen to this, okay? Give it some thought. You can disagree fundamentally on whether or not the government should have been involved. We can definitely disagree on that. I think we should have. But it's not communism. It's not socialism. I see people on Facebook who say, you voted for Joe. Oh, I hope you're happy with what you're getting. Those people who they'll post and they'll say, oh, look today, dollars $1.95 gas and interest rates are so-and-so. And it is so ignorant. My friends, the President of the United States does not control gas prices. The President of the United States can have a small effect by releasing reserves. We're talking maybe 15 cents to save money.
And reserves come down to a national security argument, and that's
exactly. And the interest rates, my friends, is not due to the president. The president doesn't pick the interest rates. It's the Federal Reserve, my friends. It's the way the economy is, my friends. The reason why it's been so low is because we had a major recession 10 years ago. And we recovered for sure. But it obviously, the people who are way smarter than all of us combined who set these rates, obviously never thought it was a good idea to keep raising them.
Yeah.
So, my friends, that has nothing to do with the president of the United States. That's called monetary policy.
What are you trying to say?
My friends, think. Look it up, please.
Yeah, I texted, and you've met him, but I don't know if you'll know him. I won't say his name, but one of my best friends who I've known since middle school, super liberal guy. I kind of texted him yesterday, and I was like, hey, I need to eat my own words. I was like, Biden won, and for my own soul growth, I have to acknowledge it. I lost. And he goes, yeah, man, that's good. He goes, but dude, just so you know, local politics will affect your life more so than Obama or Trump ever will. And I was like, really? And he was like, he sent me some examples, and I was like, well, fucking A.
That's very true. That's very true. At least locally, that's very true. Zoning,
he was
regulations.
Like, it's like we can cheer and rah whoever, but he was like, dog, your curfew laws or your open container laws or your new highway off ramp. He's like, dog, that's your county people that meet 3 miles from your house. He was like, go get involved there. Okay.
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So
that's very true.
Yeah.
So that is important. Keep attention to your local officials. It's very true. I've worked in state government, so yes, this is true. But
what else you got in your notes?
So no, to me that those things are a big deal. So healthcare, I think, is something he should take on. Again, it's a morality, issue for Democrats, and that's domestic policy. Now let's talk foreign policy, because that's another huge deal.
Yeah.
That the former president, in my opinion, made a mess of. Right when we discussed the fact that the president of the United States did not stand up to Donald Putin, putting a price on American soldiers' heads, a bounty.
Yeah.
That's not okay, my friends. I don't care who you are. If you consider yourself an American and you love your country and you love the 1% of our population who voluntarily fights for us, you're not willing to stand up to a despot and to tell him he was wrong? You're not willing to say anything when they're cyber attacking your agencies and hacking into your departments? Because Donald Trump didn't. So that, to me, is a big deal. And listen, if I'm wrong, I hope I am.
No,
he said something.
Great book.
I'm pretty damn sure I'm not.
Great book on that. An author I had on, Garrett Graff, Graff, who wrote one of my favorite books, Raven Rock. He wrote another book that I highly recommend to everyone listening. It's actually a very intriguing listen, Dawn of the Cold War. And it's about the big four, Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, and their attacks on the United States and how much bolder they're getting. And I think it takes place from the second half of the Obama administration. I think it was written in 2018. So, but that is a good book to see, hey, dude, they fuck with us, and hey, we fuck with them. But
of course
of course we do. You just don't hear that. But yeah, sorry. To your point, no, it is a big thing.
But that, that's a huge deal. I mean, to me, that is a dereliction of duty. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. If you cannot stand up for your soldiers, why should you lead them?
Sure.
I mean, to me, it's just that simple.
Sure.
Again, part of many reasons why I'm so happy this guy's no longer in office. But but the biggest thing to me is repairing alliances. Bringing America's standing back in the world. You may disagree with me on this. That's okay. I think you will. I suspect you will. Donald Trump, in my opinion, I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to be. Donald Trump didn't represent America at its best. I'll say it that way.
Sure.
I think as always, it was about him. It was about how he looked, how he seemed. Remember when he pushed the guy out of the way to be in front because he's the president?
Yeah.
Those are things that that you do when you're like 6 years old. I mean, not when you're 74 years old.
Or pissed drunk.
The most powerful man on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. But so to me, I mean, again, the berating of NATO, the berating of our allies of Germany or France, people who have bled and fought with us, needed to stop. It has stopped. Joe Biden is going to repair those alliances to make sure that America's heard again. We're rejoining the World Health Organization. We're rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, which, again, in my opinion, are smart things. It's something that we should have never left to begin with. I think in regards to Iran, that's going to be a big, big deal. He tore up the nuclear deal. Iran is now again spinning centrifuges of
uranium.
Yes, to come up with bombs. So we are literally, by the definition, we are in a world today now where Iran is on its way to making a nuclear weapon again, when they had stopped doing so in 2016. So that is just a fact. And by the way, we had international inspectors, so we knew that was the case. We didn't just take them at their word.
Yeah.
People were going in there.
I'm aware. Yeah.
Right. So, for maybe those who may not, just
sure.
You'll never take anyone at their word. You got to make sure that especially those guys.
Yeah, check the verify.
So that's going to be a big challenge, right? How do you? Will they rejoin the accord? Will they now want to, negotiate a whole new one, which may not lead to success, right? Because they may now ask for new things. And so what it means is, in the meantime, however long that takes, that negotiation process, we're still, every day that passes, a day closer to a nuclear Iran. And if that's the case, that's going to be a big deal because you're going to see an arms race around the entire region. It's going to be a huge problem. Huge problem. We don't want to see it. No one wants to see that. So, it's a big deal. North Korea, what do you do with them? The former president tried. I'll always give him credit on that. He didn't get much done. Yeah. We're basically in the same boat we were in 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, to his credit, that's not an easy thing to fix.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden may not fix it, and maybe no one will fix it. Maybe we'll lead to war one day. Who knows?
Yeah.
But at least he tried.
I think every president's they're handed a flaming pile of dog
shit
with that. I mean, obviously as a Trump supporter, I'll give him credit. But no, that is, what do you do with that, right? You got this crazy despot with 20 million people living under a thumb in gulags and concentration camps. That's not a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. But I think internationally, again, committing the respect of our allies, the phrase he always says, right? America's back. And it really very much feels that way.
Sure.
It feels like the world has said, okay, Jesus, okay, guys, that was crazy.
That's the morning. That's the next morning where you wake up in the dorm room drunk, and you and your buddy, it's you and me waking up with 2 empty vodka bottles and mustard down our fronts, and Nintendo's still running and the shower's on, and it's so I need to go back to my room, Ernie. You're like, yeah, I need to call someone. That was fun, Tommy. We probably shouldn't do that again, Ernie. No.
Exactly.
Hey,
so
take it as it was.
But no, I think that will go a long way. Again, being serious about climate change, which is a foreign, I think it's a national security it's a foreign policy issue because you have to deal with the rest of the world to make sure that they abide. Those are big deals, but I think people know Joe. He was a VP just 6 years ago, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So he definitely understands the issues, and I think those are the biggest things. I think those are the things you should focus on. I think those are the things that we've talked about today. the administration should spend most of the political capital on, because about a year in, he ain't gonna have much left to pass, or politically, at least the political capital, to try and do what he wants to do. And so the first 100 days are critical, and thereafter as well. But at least the first 100 days, one of his goals is to vaccinate 100 million folks in the first 100 days. So if we could do that, that's a third of the country, go a long way, or a fourth, I guess, a third, into improving things. And then obviously, his executive orders on if you're traveling interstate, you have to wear a mask. If you're in federal property, you have to wear a mask.
Federal, all property, within sense. Buildings, No, I saw that.
So, to me, that's, I don't know how that feels to you. I don't know if you think that's the death of America, but I hope not. I mean, I hope we can feel like, and maybe this is not so much for you, but maybe for somewhat of your listeners and maybe folks who are lean conservative. Guys, one thing I will say, and I've always, Tommy will be my witness, I've said this for every president. I've said, when Trump won, I said the same thing. I said, I wish him success.
You did.
Because he's our president.
There's video evidence on this podcast of you saying in January 2020, Tommy, I don't like the guy. I think he's an idiot, but God damn it, he's your president. And I vividly remember your Facebook post when he went to North Korea. And I remember you saying, this is back in 2018. And you were like, to everyone wishing this guy bad, you were like, fuck you. You're like, he's the president of the United States. And you're like, denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is a good thing. Godspeed, Mr. President. And I was like, that's Ernie. That's a motherfucker I can work with.
And I said the same thing when he won the election. I made a post and I said, I didn't wish him. I didn't want him to win. He won. He's our president. And, I had all these people, you're so classy and you're so great. And look, I don't do it for the accolades, guys. I do it because I'm trying to set a damn example. This is what we need to do.
And the thing is your example has worked, because that's why I reached out to you yesterday and said, please come on. Because truly be the change you want to see in the world. Ernie, not trying to suck your dick, but I'm following your precedent. I saw you say that, and I'd see all your liberal friends comment, Ernie, you turncoat, and you'd be like, dude, this isn't. So, you know what? I have to follow your precedent, because now the tables have turned, and now, I'm in the position you were in. So how do I want to be looked at?
And I'll tell you what, I'll give you a prediction right now. We'll see if I'm right or not. I don't think Joe runs again. I think Kamala runs, and I think she gets clobbered by whatever Republican runs in 24. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, dude. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I really do.
I appreciate your candid nature, but seriously, Ernie, I would say that the way you've acted online is not in vain, because it has what's inspired me to go, hey, I was wrong, and like you said right before we start recording, you're like, no one likes to lose. No one likes to lose, dude. No one likes to lose Tom Brady from your team. It sucks, but guess what? A new season starts, and here we are. So,
and again, guys, think of how blessed you are to live where you live. Think of how lucky you are.
Ultimately, here I am with air conditioning and heating, a brand new jacket I got for Christmas, on a MacBook, new microphone. Have this, and you know what's even better is I live in a country where I'm free to openly say, Ernie, I don't agree with you, and then that's it. The Gestapo doesn't break down my front door, right?
Exactly.
And so. Yeah, and I always look back, Civil War, not so much World War I, Great Depression, Dust Bowl, World War II, Cuban Missile Crisis, 9/11, 2008, COVID. We've got through all those things. I think do we got an uphill battle? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're standing on the shoulders of some freakish giants.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, another thing that I think to me is important, right? And Tommy's painting me to be able to be an angel here, guys. I'm a partisan myself too, right? Sometimes I am getting my own head in my own bubble, and
sure,
try not to. But here's what I don't do, or at least try not to do, or I try very hard not to do until I'm just like, you are fucking insane. I don't know what else to say to you. Like the kid who told me that Joe Biden was equivalent to Bin Laden.
Well,
I don't know if you saw that.
No, but that I can tell you as a Trump supporter, being called a Nazi, and on CNN the other day it said, unlike Trump, ISIS didn't have a constituency. I can tell you that, hey, that doesn't help win anyone over. Sorry to interrupt, but it doesn't. Right. Nor does it help to call Biden Bin Laden. It's just we're not getting anywhere.
Which goes to my point. We are adults. I'm 30 years old. I'm a young adult, okay?
Young, good-looking, successful. Single, for everybody listening. Single.
Yes, and successful. This is true. About to buy a condo in Buckhead. Let's go, baby.
Just where it is. He's got an open bed. He's got a cat. Big old cat.
Got a new car, too.
Ooh,
yes.
ooh, look at that hat. Look at that shirt. This guy takes care of himself. Ernie, give him a smile.
Oh, guys.
Give him a smile. That's what I always said. The first time you were on, I said, this episode's with Ernesto Ausejo, my dentally gifted friend, because you've got it's like episode 5 or 6. It's, yeah. But yeah,
they have choppers.
Yeah, beautiful. But yeah, we're all adults.
But dude, no. So we're all adults. You know, do what your mother taught you when you were a child. Respect people. You can disagree without calling someone a libtard or a fascist or a racist.
Yeah.
Right, guys. Like I saw today this post, and I almost commented, but then I was like, you know what? What is the point of me commenting?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was just shitting on this other guy, just insult after insult after insult. And I'm just like, what do you think you're going to get out of this if you're insulting the guy?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the guy. All liberals are stupid and idiots. And I'm just like, do you really believe that 84 million Americans, or 81, I'm sorry,
any blanket statement
are
in
dumb?
its nature is
or
retarded.
Idiots? Like, exactly. Do we really believe that all Trump voters are racist?
Well, I was going to say what that
really,
is that
you
blanket.
Really believe that? How stupid can you be?
That blanket generalization is what racism is, right? All blacks, all
facts,
all Democrats, all Trump supporters. That's what it is saying this generalized. Really, that guy over there? Really, Ernie right here?
Literally.
Tommy? Really? I mean, yeah. So that's not going to help.
You know. So guys, let's talk to each other. Let's have a we can disagree. That's okay. Yeah. We can say, I think you're wrong. I think your way is going to bankrupt the country. We're going to have to raise tax. We can make a political argument without having to be an asshole. For goodness' sake,
without hating each other.
Right, and I try to do that.
You do.
You know, I try. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes people are so just damn intolerable.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I tried to be nice to you.
Hey, there's plenty of evidence on this podcast of me getting on here and just started yelling about how much I fucking hate what the left's doing, and then I watch that episode in hindsight and I go, man, I was really making a fool of myself. I don't take it down because I like to fucking embarrass myself. When I look back at it, I always describe it as when my friends are like, how come you have Ernie on? I'm like, well, because Ernie is liberal and I'm conservative and we disagree on a lot. Why do you have him on?
I don't consider myself a liberal. I told you this.
You're a liberal. What? Yeah, say.
I don't consider myself a liberal.
Okay. Democrat.
I'm a Democrat, but I would say I'm center left.
Center left.
I don't call myself a liberal.
You're
liberal.
You're Ernie, and I'm Tommy.
I'm no damn Bernie Sanders. Okay. I'll tell you that.
But the point is
I work in fintech sales, my friend.
Yeah, the point is I like having you on because it's like when you're working out and then you add a little weight to the bench or something and it hurts. Well, that hurt is you getting stronger. So when I have Ernie on and it's not hot under the collar like, oh, I fucking hate you. What it is I describe it as it's this uneasy moving in my stomach. And what is that? It's the feeling of, oh fuck, I might be wrong about something. And it's being video recorded, so I gotta, but that's why I do it, is because, and you know what, in 4 years, I hope to be, 2008 liberal, 2012 conservative, 2016 liberal, 2020 conservative. In 4 years, I hope to be arguing versus the left, and in 4 years, I hope Ernie's arguing about me to why the conservative should be president. And then in 8 years, I hope it's backed, because that means we've grown. And but yeah, so.
I doubt that will happen, but.
Sure.
And
I doubt I will. But the point is, I have that wish for growth.
You know what, dude? No one thought Trump would be president 4 years ago. So you never know what the hell can happen.
You never know. You
never fucking, especially in politics. Yeah. 4 years is a different universe almost. So, but no, guys, I would really encourage that. Right? I mean, most of my friends are Republicans, and so to me. I've said this plenty of times. I don't wake up and I go, oh, this morning I'm Ernie the Democrat. How happy am I? That's not how I wake up, guys. Yeah. I wake up and I go, yep, my dog is my cat. Love with all my heart. How lucky am I to be in this beautiful country? How lucky am I?
Let's go get
that I get to work from home, that I can make my sales calls in the comfort of my home, that I can go to an office. How lucky am I? And so, all these fights and political disagreements, they are important. And, principles are a good thing, right? If you have principles, stick to them, right? But never let principles stand in the way of progress, right? It's just common sense. You're not going to get always what you want. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's why we live in a country where, as Tommy was saying, you can have a different opinion and not get gunned down because you don't toe the party line or the government line.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's pretty incredible. So just remember that the other party is not your enemy, for goodness sake.
They disagree with you.
We just disagree, guys. For goodness sake, this has got to stop. This vitriol just has to stop.
Yeah. It's you can disagree. You can disagree, and then you can go back to drinking McCormick's out of a bottle and playing Rainbow Road, right?
Yes. But we're gonna do that soon. He's gonna visit me. He says,
right. I will, and we're gonna do
the updated Mario Kart. I got the old Mario Kart, now in black and white. The color went away.
The color went away?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Old, dude. I've had that shit for like 20 years.
And sure, I mean N64.
It's old as shit.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean, though. Is like that's what's important. Is like it's not Ernie the Democrat. It's like Ernie the friend I've known since I was being a pledge in a fraternity. Ernie the friend I've had since I was living there. Ernie the friend I had when I'm transferring to UGA. Ernie the friend I had that reached out and donated $5 to the charity I started when my brother committed suicide.
Yeah.
Ernie the friend I have when I'm first starting the podcast. Hey Ernie, I need some guests. I'm starting this new thing. Will you come on? Sure thing, my guy. That's Ernie.
That's me.
Hey.
No, man, but, again, man, this stuff is important. And guys, a lot of y'all may be disappointed about Joe Biden. I know how you feel.
Yeah.
That's how I felt 4 years ago. I will say it's the first time I've had to face defeat because, when I got involved was 2008. Mm-hmm. And Obama won both his elections. I thought at the national level, of course, in Georgia, we've lost plenty. Sure. That's a fact, but at least at the national level. And I will say, don't despair, because they said in 2008, Obama's ushering a new majority that's going to give us a majority forever, and Democrats are going to do this and that, and then we lost everything in 2 years. We thought, no way, Trump is going to win. There's no way Hillary, and then he won. And then they said, Trump is like lose, and then so guys. Shit happens. It comes. It goes. It's part of it. It sucks. But I promise when you woke up this morning, you still felt the same as you did yesterday, did you not?
And the reality
because I remember thinking to myself, man, I'm relieved this is Biden's president now, but honestly, what has changed in my life?
I woke up and I still looked in the
change.
Yeah. No, I woke up, looked in the mirror, and still said, "Fuck, I gotta lose a little weight."
Exactly.
Still said, "Shit, I gotta go to the gym." Oh, this hot shower is good.
Fuck, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take the day off today. I'll go back tomorrow.
Do this. Oh, fuck, I gotta get the mail. Fuck, it's cold outside. Come on up here, and I'm laughing with Ernie the same way I was laughing pre-COVID. Like
when Trump was president,
when the biggest news. Yeah. When you were on before Kobe died, rest in peace. But before Kobe died, it's so ultimately it is. It's like. That's one thing I always think about is like if you could just record my whole life and then mute it so it's like a silent film like in 1800s and it just shows me, you could even do the piano, just me running around for the last 30 years, aside from the fact that I'm getting older and you could tell that it's more years have gone by, you would never be able to tell who was president.
Exactly.
Because you could never go, hey, look, there's the part where he was forced draft into the military, because that didn't happen. Where's the one? Oh, see how I'm walking around with a broken leg because I had to have Obamacare? Didn't happen. Oh, did you see him there? See how everything's great? Because America was great again? Didn't happen. And if you look
what I don't understand, and I think it happens. I think the right has a sentiment today. There's definitely some elements of it on the left, but a lot of these folks, for whatever reason, think that the government is just out to get them. That the government is coming to take your freedoms. I mean, I've seen so many people say, "Oh, but now good luck. Now that Biden's president, your freedoms are all gone. Oh, the America we loved is gone." And it's like, where does that come from? I really legitimately do not understand that fear. Like, I don't have that fear at all. Well, I don't think anyone's messing with me. I don't think anyone's getting in my face. I don't think anyone's coming for me.
It's what I addressed in my cognitive dissonance episode last week, where I looked at my liberal friends over the last 4 years. Not Ernie. Ernie, you're more level-headed. Like you said, still biased, as myself, still biased. Yes. But I looked at a lot of my farther left friends, and for 4 years, it was, you'd think that they were at a perpetual funeral. They'd be like, another day in Trump's America. And I'd be like, yo, like, okay, I get it. You don't like him. I get it. He's got a fake tan. He's on his third wife, and he's a bit of a douche. Like, I get it, but like, nothing's happening. Like, the reality is your life is as boring as it was before, and so
until January 6th.
Until January 6th.
Yes.
Then it became real.
I would agree with you. Until then, I think you did. I mean, he incited.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it. You have to go to the Capitol. You got to be strong. You have to rep Mo Brooks from Alabama. Today is the day we start kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got people in the Capitol. Hang Mike Pence, the Vice President of the United States. You had people who were planning this beforehand at the behest of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
You have now investigations as to whether there were members of Congress.
Oh yeah.
People
oh yeah. Did they let him in? Did they?
The fact. So I would agree with everything you've said. But I will say, Tommy, I don't want to sound like a pompous asshole, but this is what we had warned about for years.
You have. Oh, you have.
This is what we said. This is what this guy can do. Yeah. Now, did we think it was going to happen? No. And to be fair, it was a pretty shitty attack. Right? I mean, they did get in there, everyone was gone, then they got fucked, and then it was over.
Yeah.
But the thought of that happening. Think about what happened.
Yeah.
For the first time in the history of the United States of America, a group of people who believed a lie had nooses ready to hang the Vice President of the United States, the leadership in Congress, at the behest of one man. And that's not just me saying this. Mitch McConnell said this.
Ernie.
Trump's fault. Now he said today it wasn't Trump's fault. So I'm sorry to take you off that, but can you hear me?
Yeah. You're back. You're back.
I'm sorry to take you off that, and I don't mean to challenge you too much.
No. I got
you. You know what I mean? But
that's
guys,
a fact. That's a fact.
We're talking about the truth. I mean, that is the truth.
Yeah.
Just as unequivocal, and I would be just as harsh.
Yeah. Ernie. Ernesto. Ernie, you think your internet might have died? He's frozen up. Wait, I think I just heard him. Ernie?
Yo.
Hey, I can kind of hear. You're back.
Yep.
But you're
back?
Yeah, you're back.
I was just saying, let's not forget that. But no, you were right about you were saying with Trump. Look, I mean,
No, you're right.
You're not totally wrong.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That's a fact.
I think the essence, Tommy, of it wasn't that Trump's policies were all that insane, right? They were mostly center-right policies. It was how he went about it. It was what he said. It was about everyone that didn't agree with him he bullied, right? Oh, Lying Ted. Oh, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary. Little Marco.
The crazy line.
There was always an insult, which it's funny.
Sure.
It is entertaining.
Sure.
Like, it really is. Let's not lie.
Look, hey, Tim Dillon said it. He said, hey, the reality is that was the best stand-up comedian for the last 4 years.
Legit.
Call it what it is. You know.
You guys are great people. Great people.
Hey, you know what? I'd watch that Netflix.
Guy.
Gross. Listen. You'd be in jail. Hey, laugh when you gotta laugh.
It's funny. But again, you should not be saying that.
Sure.
The president, you know what I mean? Joe Biden could have said that. When I'm president, I'm going to jail. Can you imagine? Like, you don't say that.
Trump, you'd be in jail. You're right. And I would like a hypocritical douche.
Because that's what happens in regimes like Russia.
Yeah.
You're the political opponent. You don't agree with my political position. Well, you're going to go to jail. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
And so that was what was so terrifying. It was this streak of I don't even know what to call it. A streak of because I don't want to say he's not a dictator. Obviously, you can't remove a dictator by an election. So he's obviously not a dictator. Obviously not. Obviously, Congress passed the laws, but he had a streak of just authoritativeness, I guess. I don't know what other way to put it. Just, you know what I mean? This like a strongman syndrome. Like he wanted to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was.
I don't know how to describe it.
It was, for better or worse, he turned up alpha to 11. For better or worse,
Exactly.
respectable or not, funny or not, presidential or not. It's what it was. And, you know, I'll respect someone's ability to get to the office, the highest office in the land. I always will. And I've said that about Obama. I've said that about Clinton. I'll say it about Biden. Hey, I respect the game. If you can get to the Oval Office and you get that nuclear football, guess what? You're swinging past the knees with your dick, okay? All right? That's just what it is. You played the game, right? You don't get a Super Bowl ring. You don't have to like Tom Brady or Belichick. But you know what? You get that fucking ring that weighs as much as a small Volkswagen. You're swinging from the knees. So, but yeah, no, I get
So it was that streak of those things where, again, he appeals to the strongmen of the world, right? He says very nice things about them, but then he's berating the Chancellor of Germany, or he's berating the President of France.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to say it's anti-American, but it definitely doesn't conduce to American values, and not with the way American presidents have been. It was a difference of values, in my opinion,
Sure.
as to what America should be or what it shouldn't be.
Sure.
The America First model, which in theory sounds great, of course you should worry about your people first, obviously.
Yeah.
No shit. But if that means to retreat from the rest of the world and to isolate, then I don't think it's a good idea. But again, it just the way he went about things to me was just too much.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that we don't have to see that every day.
Hey, we got through it.
We got through it.
Which to me means you got through it as much as you didn't like him, and we're still here. Obviously, a dictator can't be voted out. Which to me, like I said, has helped me enormously, because guess what? I'll get through this. I don't have to like it. But if I'm going to fly this fucker behind me, then that comes with the left and the right. Right?
That's it.
It's a cheesy, corny, eye-rolling saying, but come on, man. A bald eagle has a left wing and a right wing.
I'll leave it with, I'll tell you this, one stat you're not going to like. But I think
are they coming for all white males? Shit.
But I think it's instructive. Because just as I gave the guy credit for having the lowest unemployment rate in history, high wealth, I'm forgetting the term right now, but
median income,
household income increased. This is true. As it had been increasing, by the way, beforehand, but whatever. He was still in charge while it happened.
Sure.
But this is a fact. He's the first president since Herbert Hoover to leave office with a total less jobs than when he came into office.
Fuck.
And that is obviously the reason why is COVID, right? Which obviously is he can't control.
Sure.
But he could have controlled the response, could have controlled a lot of things that a lot of people, we can disagree on that. We may disagree on that.
Yeah.
But that is just a fact. First president since Hoover to leave office with less jobs than when he entered office.
That's a fact, and that's a fact. It's if you're gonna take.
And to me, if that doesn't tell you Donald Trump, I feel like he started off really well, and he just could never. He had some adversity thrown his way, and he just said, "Oh, this is nasty."
Started out with a strong foreplay.
Great tongue game.
Great tongue game, but he couldn't get Lady Liberty to come.
Exactly. No, but that's instructive, right? I mean,
Sure.
It's just it's reality, and again, it's reality. Yeah.
So, real quick,
What's funny to me is people will say, "Well, it was the Democrats' fault. They shut down this or that."
no, the planet shut down.
That's not right.
The planet shut down. I mean, come on now.
Everyone was saying shut
The
down.
fucking planet shut down. Okay,
but
there were no Olympics.
But
final couple minutes. When are these lockdowns going to end, and when is life as we knew it back? When are we back to just... And I'm not even trying to say that as a political thing. I'm just saying general fucking... Even if Trump won, Trump's in the second term right now. It's just...
I'm not gonna be a hypocrite, okay? And let the record reflect and show
it's not court,
that I have not
it's not court.
been staying at home. Do what?
You haven't been staying at home?
No. Let the record reflect and show that the city of Atlanta gives no fucks about COVID. Let me tell you, it's not good. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's what I should be doing, but I'm telling you what I am doing, okay? At least I'm being honest.
You are.
So, so I'm not going to be too much of a hypocrite. I've been out and about and chilling and drinking and having a good time. And
that's good.
I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, man, for me personally, life hasn't been affected one bit. It was affected for like maybe a few months.
Fuck, okay.
But I was fine. So honestly, dude, I'm telling you, man, Atlanta, it's like, I'm telling you, come down, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck.
God, if I don't get a little, little pang in the heart from Georgia doesn't give a fuck. Fuck you.
Even Atlanta, the most liberal city in the fucking state.
Atlanta doesn't. Atlanta, Valdosta, Athens, none of them give a fuck. For better or worse, they just don't care.
It's just reality. I'm sorry. It doesn't make things better, and I understand how irresponsible it is.
Sure. But that will always be
But for me, it's funny when I hear people say, "When we get back to normal?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucking normal. Like I'm going to the office. I'm going out on the weekends."
When are we ending the lockdown? And you're like, the what?
Yeah, I'm like, legit, bro.
You're like,
last year I went to Key West. I went to DC. I went to Dallas. I went to Denver. I mean, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and be like, oh, shut it down. And no, I mean, come on, guys.
I'm with you, man.
But I think for the rest of the country, I hope by the end of the year, I mean, it depends on when we're going to vaccinate folks, right? If we can do 100 million vaccinations in a matter of 3 months, we can replicate it for the next 2 months, you'll have all of America covered, right? I don't know if that's possible. I have no idea. I'm just speculating. So, if that happens, and Johnson & Johnson is coming out with their single dosage vaccine here in the next couple weeks, then that's a good thing. Then hopefully that's what we do, and then hopefully within the year we can be back to normal. I'll tell you what I miss. I miss concerts so bad, dude.
Yeah,
I love concerts.
I just miss.
Got my Dave Matthews poster in the back right there.
Yeah, I know you are. I just kind of miss seeing all of it. Even watching a football. I don't even watch sports, but just kind of seeing. I just miss those little things.
Okay, so for example, in Atlanta, you can go to Falcons games.
Really?
You can go to Hawks games now.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Atlanta really doesn't give a fuck. Atlanta really doesn't give a
fuck, bro.
They'll always have a soft spot in my heart for the old ATL. Peace up, A-Town down. They don't give a fuck.
There's nothing like it, man.
They're like, COVID, crack, fuck it. Do it all.
Now we're a swing state. Now we got 2 Georgia states. Oh, I didn't show you. Did you see this?
No.
Let me show you this. You're going to love this.
Okay.
Let me show you your audience.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds, guys.
Okay. Ernesto Ausejo. Swinging past the knees. Ernie. If you guys can't tell why I love Ernie, it's because Ernie is a dude like me. Just dudes being guys. 2 guys in a hot tub, 5 feet apart.
Maybe a little about the city.
What?
You may have seen it when I posted it on Instagram. So when John Ossoff, who is now a U.S. Senator, ran for office, I used to work in politics. So I got a call from one of my good friends who does a lot of work in the Latin community and is super well connected. And he said, hey, the Ossoff campaign needs a young Hispanic family to be on a commercial. Would you guys want to do that? And I was like, absolutely. Tell them to call me and let's get it going. So obviously we got one of his staffers to call. And now it was cool. We filmed it, but they never fucking put it on TV. I mean, we never saw it. So I don't know what the hell. I don't know why we filmed it. We were there for like hours. It was really cool. We obviously had to wear a mask, but it was like us and John, and we literally just talked the entire time. It was really chill. Just had a nice conversation while they filmed us and took pictures of us and shit. But after the fact, we got this super nice letter. That's what I'm trying to show you here. And it's hand signed by the senator himself.
Oh, no shit.
and it's saying, thanks, it gets political, but it says, thank you for taking the time to make our TV shoot a success.
Sure.
Thanks for your generosity and dedication. We're positioned to win this critical election, pass legislation to help people in our state and across the country. But it's really cool. So it was a really nice gesture. So obviously I framed it because now he's a U.S. senator, and I've got it hung. So
yeah, man.
It's
very cool. That's very cool.
Proud. I met the guy a few times. Just through, he's only a couple years older than us. He's only 33.
What?
So
he's 33?
Yeah, he's the youngest senator since Joe Biden. Youngest senator since Joe Biden.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, he's super young.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due. God damn.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, was it your parents and sister?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was me and my parents and my sister.
Hell yeah.
And he took some pictures of us as well. So I've been asking. I was like, "Can you just send us the pictures? Like they were professional pictures."
Yeah.
They took pictures to do mailers. They said they were going to do mailers and the commercial, but we never saw anything. So I don't know. Either way, it was really nice. It was really nice to And I've got a nice letter addressed to me from a United States senator.
That's badass. That's badass.
A Democratic U.S. senator from the state of Georgia. Who would have thought?
Fucking unicorn.
Yeah, two. Who would have thought?
Hey, man. No one would have thought Trump would have won. I guess maybe that's just setting the precedent. Shit can happen.
Well, a lot of people expected Georgia to be a swing state by the mid-2020s.
Really?
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the city, there's a shit ton. I mean, I told you, back when Romney in the heyday of Republicans in Georgia, I mean, he won the state by about 300,000 votes, which is a lot of votes.
In 2012?
But just, 2012. But just in Georgia alone, there's 800,000 unregistered African Americans. So that right there, I mean, that's just African Americans. You got another 200,000 Hispanics and another 90,000 Asians. So they vote typically 70, 80% Democratic. So you register half of those people. That's your margin of victory right there.
Yeah.
And that's what Stacey Abrams did, right? They registered, I think, 1 million new voters. So credit to her.
Credit where credit's due. And there might be a silver lining, and Ernie may disagree with me, and again, maybe a philosophical disagreement. But a silver lining of Trump is that maybe more people are involved and interested in politics than ever before.
No, I totally agree.
I was pretty apathetic up until about 2016. I'd vote, but it was like, now I pay it, perhaps to my detriment. I'll admit, some learning curves there. I'll admit that. I was an idiot. But perhaps that is something. We are now, for better or worse, we're paying attention. You hear people talking about.
I totally agree.
People talking about the names of secretaries and czars and senators and state senators.
We were talking about. So true, right? Think of the election 4 years ago. You did not have the kind of mobilization. I mean, dude, it was everywhere. Soccer teams, basketball teams, the NFL, anything you could think of, any organization was like, go vote, go do this. Don't forget the sports radio. Oh, don't make your voice heard. You got to go vote. And it's like, dude, even me who loves politics was like, listen, I mean, God bless, but fuck off. I vote the fucking first day of early voting. Like
you're like, I voted. Shut the fuck up. But you know what? Hey, you know what?
Leave me alone. Like,
you know what?
Fuck.
Hey, I'll. Obviously I like Trump, and again, we can agree to disagree. But you know what? I think that is an objectively good thing. You got more people. You could probably argue that Stalin got more people involved too. Maybe it's not a compliment, but hey, that's a good thing. Regardless, that's what I said the day of the election, and I said it on this podcast with my buddy Josh Newman of Reality Playground podcast. I said we both voted, right? And Josh is an ex-military guy. We kind of lean the same way, and we were talking, and I was like, you know what? And this is what I said to him. You can go back to the November 3rd episode. I said there are so many people there, even in this sleepy winter town. And I was like, the one silver lining from all of this is, I was like, even if Trump loses, that will have just meant that more people who have always been able to vote but never did decided to, and that's an objectively good thing.
Yes, I agree. I think. Yeah. Did you hear he wants to have a third party? Did you hear about this?
Oh Jesus!
The Patriot Party.
I'm objectively for a third party, and I've said that.
Well, yeah, but if he starts a third party, that would divide the Republican Party in half. I mean, that would literally mean that Democrats would win everything.
Maybe Trump's going back to his Democrat roots. Because he was a lifetime. No. What I'm saying is he was a lifetime Democrat.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
that's the Democrat long con. Is he comes back and goes.
Maybe that was the thing. He just
maybe
wanted
this
to be a
whole
Democrat
thing was a Democrat long con. He mobilized the Democratic base like not even Obama could. He got the most votes for Biden. Maybe it's the long con. He's going, as soon as he goes off stage, you see him go back and see Obama. They fist bump, and he's like, "You did it, Donnie. We all got played."
Listen, Joe, I'm going to get you the most votes.
Joe.
You just wait.
Joe,
just wait.
You just wait. Hey, I did it for you. Best ever. This is the most high elite Democrats are all go up to Trump and they're like, "Hey, good job, kid."
I tell you what, Joe, just shoot me a pardon. It'll be fine.
Hey, Joe, shoot me. Yeah, we're all going to be curious. How come nothing ever happened to Trump? How come Biden doesn't do anything? And Biden's got an inside. Biden's like, I got it. It's all a fucking show. Man. It's not for you and me, Ernie.
But yeah, man, we're turn the page, or we're going to try and turn the page. It's hard to obviously forget what happened since it's literally been 2 days.
It's literally been about 32 hours. It's been about 32 hours.
There you go. So, you never want to look back too much. You want to think forward, and I think I laid out tonight what I think the administration should do. I hope they do it. I mean, it's what they've signaled they would do. What comes after is important. I didn't even really mention, like I said, too much. Climate change, which I mentioned a little bit, but that's a big deal. Obviously, they're going to have to work on trade agreements.
Mm-hmm.
There's another big deal they're going to have to work on. I'm trying to think of other things, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of things, and you know how it is, man. Things pop up, things come up out of nowhere. Who would have thought COVID would be an issue 3 years ago, right? And now it's like the biggest thing dominates everything.
Exactly.
So things come up, but again, guys, you want to hope your administration, good luck. You can disagree on policy, you can disagree on whether the moves are the right move for the American people. We can disagree on, on a myriad of things, but being nasty to one another is not going to fix anything.
No, it's the same cheesy saying, but I mean, come on, a plane has a left wing and a right wing. You got it. They both have to work for the motherfucker to fly. All right.
Exactly.
So you don't have to like the pilot, but you shouldn't be hoping the pilot dies.
And I'll leave you with this. I think this is important, Tommy. For the Republican Party, you saw it in this election. The voters who were supposed to come out for Trump did not come out. That's why he lost. Well, actually, a lot of people did. But people in Northwest Georgia voted less than in 2016 in some spots. Not everywhere. Because he did get more votes than any Republican, right, in the history of the country. You saw it in the Georgia elections. Trump wasn't on the ballot. These people didn't come out to vote. They lost. The question becomes, what happens to the Republican Party now? Who leads the party? What way will that party go? Will it go? Will it stay? Will Trump be the center of gravity in the Republican Party for years to come? I believe so. But will there be leaders who are willing to challenge some of the toxicity of the Trump presidency? I think it serves them if they do so. I think you guys should find a way to, in my opinion, moderate, as I think both parties need to do. I think we picked a good candidate in Joe, who's not some crazy leftist or communist. And so I think you guys need the same. I think it's important for both parties to be strong. Because if you have one party that depends on one person way too much, as in, I was talking about Donald Trump and the Republican Party, it can be corrosive. We just saw the results of that, literally, on January 6th. So I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if you can fix that. I don't know if just Donald Trump just is the guy, and he will be until he dies. He may be. But I sincerely hope that Republicans and center-right Republicans take a lead in their party and their charge to try and just bring some more common sense back, right? I mean, there's no reason why the President of the United States should not be speaking to the Speaker of the House to try and pass legislation. That was what had happened under Trump. Now, you can blame both folks. I'm not saying that's all on Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, the president, the buck stops with him, right? That's what they say, right? And when it comes time to make a deal, you got to get the guys in your office and say, look, I don't care how much we hate each other. We got to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And I think he thought just with Republicans he could do it, and I think it will serve both parties, not just Republicans, Democrats. I think it will serve both parties well if we try and get bipartisan help. And but who knows?
Yeah,
when you got a majority, it's much easier to say, or when you don't.
Sure. Yeah.
But I worry for the Republican Party. I really do. You got to remember, Tommy, you guys have won out of the last 20 years now of elections. You guys have won the popular vote once in 20 years.
Yeah.
Now, people tell you, well, who cares? That's not how you elect presidents. But the reality is it's only happened, 5, maybe 6 times in the history of the United States where the popular vote did not match the electoral vote. The reality is most of the time it matches. And so what that means is, why is the Republican Party having trouble, with just winning simple majorities of the American people? You guys haven't been able to do so but once in 20 years.
Yeah.
What does that say about the Republican Party?
Yeah.
And its ideas?
Yeah. And Reagan won both, right, in his re-election?
Yeah, of course. I'm talking to 2000.
I know, but so what I'm saying though is, so it is possible. So no, you're right. So someone do it.
Absolutely, it's what I'm saying. It started with
Bush,
with the second Bush. Yeah. He only won the popular vote in 2004. He lost it in 2000. He won in 2004, and obviously he won again. And then once in 20 years in 2000, 2004, 2008, 12, 16, 20, 6 elections. How can you? That's 30 years.
Yeah.
Fucking,
no, 20
yeah.
years, 6 elections.
So, why is that? Why is it the majority of the American people prefer the Democratic ideas, or at least Democratic candidates, to the Republican candidates? You need to ask yourself that question. And I'm being serious. Right?
Yeah.
Why are our policies more popular with the American people?
I think we'll see the free market of ideas. I think you'll probably have someone. We'll just name. I'm just like the first name that pops in my head. This isn't who I back. Let's say it's a Ted Cruz, right? Let's just fucking, for whatever. I think you're going to see him. He's probably just going to have to walk towards the center. That's the reality. I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think you'll see the free market of ideas. You'll either get your ass handed to you in 2 years, and they're going to go, okay, fuck, we really got to walk towards the center. Or who knows? Maybe you get some perfect storm again when you get a 2016. I don't know. But I think it'll probably just be. I think it'll probably. This is kind of a shitty answer, but I kind of think it will just. It is what it is. I think it'll unfold how it unfolds.
No, for sure. But the reason why I don't think it should be what it is because it puts the Republican Party in an untenable position.
Yeah.
Where they go, well, we can't win majorities anymore. We can only win by this one instrument called the electoral college.
Weird tactical. Yeah.
Well, right. Well, the reality is now you're not going to win a majority. You have a minority proposition in almost all of your policies, at least based on the way people have voted over the last 20 or so years.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, how do you continue to win elections when that's the goal of politics?
Yeah.
Right. And if the answer isn't to change the way you're doing things, then I'm afraid, I think we got a glimpse of this on January 6th, that some people may want to start turning into undemocratic means to retain power, which leads us into very, very dangerous territory. I think it would be the same the other way if it was the left with less and less and less votes. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that Republicans want to, throw a coup or anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is these people who support you and these people on the far right, these Trump supporters, we go back to the same thing. What the hell do they have to lose if they continue to lose elections over and over and over? They're going to go, we can never win. These liberals, there's too many of them. So how do we win? How do you win if you can't win in the ballot box?
I think you'd have to. Well, I get what you're saying. You get a January 6th. I think what they'd have to do is hope the left moves farther left, and then you move into the position that they're in now, and then maybe you start to get your equivalent of a Trump on the left.
And don't get me wrong, that's not to say that the left isn't far left. I mean, there's a bunch of fucking idiots. Like, guys, I get it. Trust me. I'm not saying that, like...
Yeah, no, I was going to say, it's back to what you said on the first time you came on the show. You're like, I'll tell you why I don't vote for Bernie, Tommy. And you're like, why that? And you go, because capitalism's awesome, communism's retarded, and I love the U.S. military. Yes. And I was like, that's the Ernie I haven't talked to in 5 years, and... good to see you again, kind of thing. But yeah, I remember you said that.
I told you I was talking to my military views are very, very much on the right side of the spectrum.
They're the same as mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Because dude, it just makes sense. And dude, I've had people tell me, "God, you're so far right." And I'm like, no. What? I'm not far right at all. I just think.
Yeah.
Got the power. We run the world. We should continue to do it.
You should continue to control the world's resources, because if it's not us, power whores a vacuum, you're going to get a China or a Russia. I'd rather it be us and have to apologize than to have to ask for forgiveness. That's just
common sense.
That's a zero sum. That's the zero sum nature of Homo sapien civilization.
Facts.
Facts. I'd rather have our battleships ensuring free trade lines than.
I'd rather the battles and the wars be fought halfway across the world than here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Does that make me a bad person? Maybe, but I don't care.
You're a dirty capitalist. Well, then fucking A, Ernie doesn't give a shit.
I don't.
Yeah. And that's why I love talking to you, is because I think when I talk to you, I'm like, oh, here's a moderate I can talk to. But a big reason I bring you on here, aside from the fact I just fucking love you, is that when I talk to you, I'm like, oh, this is a liberal I can talk to. I start to realize I don't think you're an exception. I think there's probably a lot more like you. As when you talk to me and you're telling me, hey, at least you'll talk. Yeah. I think there's probably a lot more of me who do talk, and it's probably the minority on both sides that make us all think that the left is a bunch of, fucking great leap forward Maoists, and the rights are a bunch of sneak high. Like, the reality is...
Now, don't get me wrong, that does exist on both sides.
They do.
Like, those people definitely exist.
They do.
But there's a small minority of people.
Yeah, we saw it.
Did you listen? I don't know if you heard. Did you listen to Marco Rubio's speech last night? He gave a 10-minute speech.
I listened to a piece of Biden's, but that was it.
Yeah, so you should see if you can find it. It's just a 10-minute speech. He gave it yesterday, and he spoke about the divisions in the country. He said, he really thought that Biden was sincere in his calls for unity, and but he talked about what we're talking about, painting people with a broad brush, saying all Trump supporters are racist, or like the fact that there's people. I was at someone's house the other day. This guy came in and they said, "Oh, which one's your house?" Because it was one of the neighbors. And this guy was like, "Oh, the one with the big Trump flag outside." And he immediately had to say, "Oh, but like I'm not
one of the."
Like, that shouldn't be a thing, dude. Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't not be happy or proud because you voted for Trump.
Yeah,
that's who you voted for. I hate you voted for. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, he was one of the two choices on the ballot. That's it's okay.
Yeah,
like, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone should vote for Donald Trump, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's not okay. You know what I mean? Because then that again feeds into that narrative of liberals are silencing us.
They all want to hate us up. They want to.
Who I am, and that shouldn't be a thing. Yeah. You should be able to proudly stand for what you stand for, unless they're a fucking Nazi or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it's
a different story.
Yeah,
but and that to me makes it sad. And so we just stop with the division. God damn it.
No, Ernie. If we dig our heels,
what would Jesus do?
If we dig our heels in, Jesus would fucking turn water into wine, wrap up a fatty, and say, "Fuck all this shit. Let's go eat fish."
Part of the reason, Tommy, why as much as what he did on the 6th is an impeachable offense, I don't think he should have been impeached. Because it just goes back into the same cycle of, well, I did it. Well, no, you did it. Well, you did it for this and you did it for that. And no, it just never stops, dude. And it's like, we just won. Can we just stop bitching about the other guy?
Yeah.
We just won.
Yeah.
We have control of Washington. Guys.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the people's business.
Yeah. 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 It's
people don't like that shit. People get sick of that shit, dude.
Yeah. And I think that most people, more than anything, like myself, is I like talking to you because you come on and it's like, yeah, I voted for Trump, and you're like, yeah, that okay,
right? You
like the Falcons, I like the Patriots, like,
right?
Hey, is what it is. I actually don't give a shit about any sports, but real quick is because I don't pay attention. Brady's on the Buccaneers. Are the Buccaneers making a run? Are they still in it?
The Buccaneers are playing on Sunday at 3 p.m. for the NFC Championship.
I hope Brady wins the Super Bowl.
I don't. Fuck Tom Brady, dude.
And some things will remain the same.
Fuck Tom Brady, dude.
I hope.
That man brought me the worst loss probably in the history of losses for me.
28-3.
I mean, my fucking phone case is the Falcons. I got fucking mad on my damn Yeti and the Falcons. I have damn season tickets. I have a damn ball signed by half the damn team.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, dude. I love this club. I love this team.
These are things where it's okay to be partisan.
Yes.
These are things where it's okay. Hey, leave your division on the field. It's okay for us to hate each other on the. Never be friends. Never talk middle ground. Don't reach across the aisle. Fuck them. That's good. Let's keep it there.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's a game. We'll leave it there. Maybe maybe that's the problem, Ernie. COVID took away sports, so sports bled into politics.
Maybe.
Guy with horns and face paint at the Capitol? That looks like a Super Bowl to me. That looks like a college game day.
He was like, where's Brady? We're hanging Brady. Dude, that's, yeah, so hopefully the Packers win. But either way, the fact that this man at 43 years old is leading a team, has led a team already to an NFC conference title. This is his 14th title game, dude.
I love it.
That is ridiculous.
I love it, and I love it because he's not doing it. He's not doing it with the Pats. That's why I love it. He's doing it, and he's doing it on. Well, he's doing it without Belichick, and that's what I like.
Exactly.
I love to see.
And Belichick's team is fucking shit now.
I love. And
that's Tom Brady, man. It's Tom Brady. He's taking a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in like 20 years, dude.
And that's why.
And he took them straight to an NFC championship.
And that's why I like it. Because I think
it's good. First year.
I think it's good for him. And I think it's good for him because I think if otherwise there would always be this sort of, was it him or was it Belichick? Was it Robert Kraft's money that could lube the wheels around him? That's why, as much as I hate that he left the and I don't give a shit about any sports, but as much as I hate that he left the Patriots, and part of me hopes that like he shattered both his femurs on the first game. The reality is that like I respect. Just like I said earlier about the Oval Office, I respect whoever can swing from the knees and get in there. Yeah. I just like watching a champion, and I do want him to win one or at least appear in one without the help of Belichick, because I think that will be good. I think that will give him a reputation that he deserves more. Is that he did? Dude, I know you hate him. You're like fuck.
No. But I think what he's done is already enough to give him that reputation.
Yeah.
He's already taken the NFC championship. That is dude. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah. That's what I like. I like seeing someone fucking stand up and like, I don't need your help.
No, listen. You cannot debate. The guy is the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
he just is. You just can't. I'm sorry. Like, I don't like him, but
it doesn't help that he's handsome and fucking married to a supermodel. That doesn't help either.
And he's a baby back bitch who kisses his kids.
I don't know what kind of fucking psychopath kisses their children.
No, listen. Everyone kisses their children, but
Tom Brady he kisses them on the mouth.
Fucking weird. Have you seen the clip? Right?
No. One of my good friends, Ben, we always text each other memes, and I'm like, you know what? And Ben's liberal, whereas I'm conservative, and we hang out and we fucking always shit on each other. He goes, you know what? I will give Donald Trump, and I'll be like, what's that? And he'd be like, he doesn't kiss his kids on the mouth like Tom Brady. That's a real fascist.
Dude, this guy, you've seen the clip when he gets up there and he goes,
yeah,
this is dad, and he goes, oh, that's it. He goes. Longer, and the kid sits there and just like, you've never seen this, dude. He sits there and he kisses his dad like 6 seconds longer. He's just like, that's not enough. Like, come back. It's fucking weird, dude.
Maybe there's a fuck. So you're telling me Tom Brady is going to go down in a pedophile scandal? Is that what's coming?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What I know it's not. What if that came out?
Kids.
What if I know? Maybe it's a power move. It's like, hey,
but no, he's going.
But no, he's gonna go to fucking prison. No, I'm gonna. But not all jokes aside, I'm gonna pull the lever as that motherfucker burns.
On the other side, I have a flight down to Tampa tonight.
You do?
No, I'm just.
Oh. Ernie's putting on a Falcons bandana, and he's like, for God and country, someone needs to do what someone should have done a while ago.
Dude, I have so much Falcon shit. You have no idea. I could really could.
Ernie's like, you're like January 6th should have been in Tampa.
Bro, I have Falcons fucking pants, tank top, shirts, jerseys.
I know you do. Ernie, I've known you for 11 years. I know you
Yes.
do. I know you and Cal have that, like a militant amount.
Oh yeah. Same with Cal.
Yeah.
100%.
So
And I had to.
so okay. Does Trump win? Does Trump win any love if he says, to my January 6th crowd, here's Tom Brady's address. Falcons for life. Falcons for life. Rise up.
No more inciting people for any violence. I don't care what it's for, whether that's Brady, whether that's whatever. No more violence. We need no violence. We need peace.
We don't. We just need to talk. We need to open up everything. Everyone needs to get back out, start drinking again. COVID needs to be a weird fever dream memory.
We need to give everyone a joint of marijuana and get them high and get them relaxing.
Federally legal. Isn't it federally legalized now? No, well, that's what it needs to be. That's how Biden really wants unity. Federally legalized marijuana. Federally legalized psilocybin.
Everyone before that. Hey, Republicans, Democrats would be like, yes, dude.
Maybe that's the world peace we need. Trump was like a heavy like Adderall and liquor night, and we need a fucking big bowl.
No, I didn't know anything. I think that is the move I would agree.
I think we can all agree on.
I mean, this is obviously ridiculous, but if you could take like all the world's leaders, put them in a room,
get them all high together. I've been saying that for years.
I promise you would solve the world's problems.
I go one step further, and I think all the world's leaders should get together, take a massive dose of mushrooms, and get naked and fuck. Because I think that if two people are coming and looking each other in the eyes, those two leaders are never going to send troops into each other's nations. Because there was a soul bond as they, I love you, we are one! Hendrix playing in the background, maybe some Chick-fil-A, whatever. Oh, I swear I'd taken a shower after. Like, you're a good fuck. Eyes the size of dinner plates, like just seeing love. You'll never have a war again.
Isn't that true? Isn't that funny, dude? Right?
But that's the
your
truth.
Eyes grow as when you see someone you love, or
when you're on psilocybin,
because you want to take all of them in.
Yes, you just want to bring You want to bring all of them in. That's true. That's what we need. That's what the COVID vaccine should be. I hope that there is a latent. I hope there's an mRNA switch that all they have to do is turn on some UV satellite, beam the whole world, and just like that, we're all peaking.
How fucking
world peace tomorrow.
Jackie boy, you want some world peace, buddy? What are you doing?
You want some world peace?
Ooh, Jack, dude. Jack's just being a pup.
Well, as always, we have now devolved into world peace and psychedelic infused orgies. So, Ernie, let's wrap this bitch up.
Let's do it, dude. Holy shit.
I love you, brother. We just did 2 hours. Jesus Christ.
Went by super quick.
That did go by super quick. Ernie, thank you for coming on. Thank you for putting me at ease more than anything. I'm a selfish fuck. Thank you for putting me at ease. Life goes on. You'll win some, you'll lose some. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for friends you have. Be grateful. My parents are alive. My brothers are alive. Podcast is working. It's a beautiful day. I got running water. I'm going to go eat a Philly cheese hot pocket. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow.
Yes.
Be grateful.
Yes, I'll be back in the gym tomorrow myself.
Tomorrow. It's always tomorrow.
Well, no. I've been going. I went the last 2 days. I just didn't go today. I took a break. I was sore, and I was like, dude, this is so much.
Get a little drunk yesterday, Ernie?
No, dude, I haven't drank at all this week.
Really?
Actually,
I thought you would have party.
So I'm trying to buy this house. So I'm trying to save money. So, dude, I went out last weekend and just 3 days of drinking because obviously we had Monday off.
Yeah.
And I spent $300, dude.
Fuck that.
And it's dude, I cannot continue to do this.
You can't have your goal. Yeah, you can't have your goals, and yeah.
No, I'm taking. Actually, my buddies want to go out tonight, and I was like, nope, I'm not going out tonight. I'm going to go to Bucket tomorrow. I'm like, nope, not doing Bucket tomorrow. I'm going to stay in all weekend, but on Sunday, I'm going to go to Park Tavern, watch the football game, spend some money. It's fine.
Just choose one day a week. Just choose one day a week. Go have a fun day.
That's what I'm saying.
Go have an Ernie day.
You know what? That's how my parents raised me. Those motherfuckers didn't let me hang out with my friends during high school but once a week. I'd have to choose between a Friday or a Saturday.
Oh, same.
Sucked. So maybe I can go back to my
high school,
early high school days.
High school days. That's what you have to do. I don't know if it helped because when Ernie and I got into college, we drank like alcoholics. Tuesday night, you gotta celebrate.
Still drinking like a damn alcoholic, man.
I don't know what we did in fall 2009 at Valdosta State. That was sacrilegious. What we did to our bodies. Your body is a temple, and we desecrated them.
That's when I used to drink so much, my face used to get like all flushed. And
Yeah. You and Cal, you guys would turn blood red.
Yeah, that's I used to have a Cal a lot too. That's right.
It happened to Cal all the time. Cal would have 2 beers, and I'd be like, "Are you embarrassed?" And he'd be like, "Fuck."
Yeah, he still gets that way, man.
I love Cal. Cal's a great American.
He's trying to move back to Atlanta, so hopefully we'll see him. We'll have him back soon.
Yeah, doesn't Cal have himself a girl?
Sure does.
Sure does. Ooh.
That's like a 2-year girl.
Ooh, Cal. But let's wrap this bitch up, Ernie.
All right, brother. Much love.
Brother. Much love, Ernie. I love you.
Hey, let me know when you want to come. I'm not kidding, dude. Whenever you want. Quinn lives literally 15 minutes from
Oh, no shit. Okay.
I swear to God.
I might have to come down and see Steven. Fuck.
So, I see him all the time, dude. So, let me know.
Quinn's big baller now, right? Quinn's a model. Quinn's a model, an actor. Ooh.
On TV, he's doing his thing, man. You gotta be proud of him. Call him. He's the same dude.
I've been trying to get him on this podcast since I started.
Quinn, you're a pussy.
He's a real pussy, like a true superstar. He's playing hard to get.
I'll text him.
Text him. Put in a good word for me. It's not like I was his fucking pledge brother. Jesus Christ, Steven. P-bros. Come on, man. You and I used to go to Walmart and get wallpaper for the Lee twins. You motherfucker. Don't forget your roots. Fuck Ernie. I used to fucking ride around your gay ass white pickup truck as pledges. Fuck you, Quinn.
Fuck me, dude.
Fuck me, bro. Dude, fucking fuck me, bro.
Oh, bro. Why don't you come fuck the boy, dude?
I remember smoking with Quinn in Madison Frost's house when we were Pledge Brothers. This was like October, November 2009. I remember Cal and I were sitting there. We were talking to Quinn. And we're like, Quinn, how high are you? And he turns to the wall and he starts doing like Thriller, and his voice changes and he goes, "Look, I'm a mountain climber. I'm a mountain climber who smokes pot." And we were like, I think, dude, what the fuck are you on? He goes, "I'm the wall climber." And Cal is like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, we're like, Pledge Ship's not doing good things for Quinn's brain.
Dude, he's the same way to this day.
I love it.
He did this Joker impression, and he was like, "You want to see these scars?" And we were like, "Yes, we do. Tell us more, please." This was the Bohannon Lake House, actually. It was wild.
Oh, I love. What a good person.
Absolutely.
But that's the importance. This is what life should be. It's just
exactly.
Shit.
All right, man.
All right, Ernie, love you, brother. God bless America. Thank you so much for coming on, Ernie.
God bless the troops too.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
bye, guys.
Goodbye, buddy.